Get 'em Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, April 21st to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It's a frustrating night last night. That 3 shots at the empty net by the Avs. They missed them all. 1 shot goes into that empty net. It's a 3.2 unit swing. I would have pushed the total. I would have cashed the puck line. It's disappointing. We called the Winnipeg Vegas game right, except I was on Vegas first period minus a half. So, somehow with the Avalanche in Vegas both winning, I went 2-4, down 1.92 units on those plays. It's frustrating as can be. I feel like I'm just not getting the bounces right now. And I know that they will come, but it's extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating. Everybody on the Warriors, I was only on them first quarter. That was great work. I moved on the Nets first quarter, first half, so it was a losing day in NBA too. So it's just being extremely frustrating. Our producer, there is a big flooding in San Antonio right now. So it's everything's a mess in San Antonio. Power's out in a lot of places, so we don't have our producer Jose Bouquet here. So it's going to be a little more difficult to track the show if you watch it later. I will try to timestamp it as soon as I'm done here today. So I'm frustrated, and we have a huge card here. Also, we have a change, but Dutch isn't going to be with us here for NBA today. So I did shout out. I just found out about that 15 minutes ago. So I did reach out to Brizzy and see if he can join us, but it might just be us capping NBA together. So it's a little flustered start to the show, but I put in a ton of work on this card, so let's get after it. Shout out to Big O, 3-team money line parlay, Pittsburgh Yankees, Cleveland at plus 413 for the Big O. I will copy and paste that right here. Viper NB getting a LASIK today, so he's going to be out for a while, but hopes everybody gets that cash. He's on Hawks first quarter and Yankees -1. Don't bother with the insurance. It's a scam, Vipe. It's a scam. They ask for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, or 5 year. Say, how about 0 years? They'll tell you that nobody does this. Everybody gets insurance. It's your eyes. And you tell them, how about 0 years? Just keep repeating that. It will cut the cost down a lot of money. How about 0 years? Use that. That was my line. Max Swelly in the house. Padres, Yanks, Avalanche, Leafs, Knights, Sixers, Warriors, Suns. All favorites won yesterday. What a day on a bunch of my parlays. Great job, Max Swelly. Justin McElvey in the house says, what's good? Broke his hand last night in a little bar fight. So just listening, best bet Yelich over 1.5 bases at plus 133. Move over here. Going to be double tasking, multitasking. Here we go. Okay. So Justin McAfee, I'm sorry that you got in a bar fight, but we have copied and pasted it. Sorry, Okay, let's stay focused here. J-Dub in the house. Justin McElvey says, be 45 in 2 months, too old for that shit, but he has no regrets. Well, that's important. Nuke Worker in the house says, happy Friday. Fellas, can someone tell me why the Leafs -115 favorites in Game 3 and who's drinking the Kool-Aid? I know a lot of cappers up here who think that they're going to win in 6 and that they're going to exercise all the demons, and I haven't bet on that series yet. It's but Mr. Gokster gave you leaps in regulation yesterday. Subhuman Gaucho, serious business. Darren Turner cashed on the Red Sox, Rangers, Nabs yesterday. We cashed again today. I love it. Great work. Darren Turner, Subhuman Gaucho, Jessica Easton, Ryan Mueller, Jason M, Jay Smooth, Christopher Comentini says Monster Day, Red Sox, Twins over, Giants, Mets over, Padres, my line, Europa sweep. I love that. Max White says Kawhi hurt. Don't want to say I saw that coming. Christopher Comentini. Oh yeah, and Vegas Jets over. Yeah, that was. I don't know how I didn't pull out a profit yesterday. Very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. Johnny K, Bo Jackson, Wine Time Sports, Raymond Reichart. Raymond Reichart says Nets are brutal, man. I felt bad for everybody who was on the Nets last night with that giveaway. With 4 seconds left. I mean, that was just atrocious. Just atrocious. Troy Torrance, Bo Jackson, Raymond Reichart. Slatsy says another small winning day in the NHL, but looking for that big night. This is the play so far. Bruins, Panthers over 6 at -117. Oilers, Kings under 6.5. I'm with you on the Oilers, Kings under. Isaac Torres ready to get to work. Christopher Comentini, Bompolo, Rocco Rogers, Kevin P says, how about those Rangers, baby? There's Mike M says the heater continues and we catch the hip to be square play of the day. Joe Yurkovich, I wish I had gone on it too. I was just in the throes of frustration there, and I had so much action going on. But I was cheering for you. Joe Yurkovich jumped on the Sacramento Kings team total under, and it cashed very easily, very comfortably. All right, North Ender says, just keep smashing the NBA. So far in the NBA playoffs, no Giannis, Bucks -6. No Ja, Grizzlies -1. No Draymond, Warriors -6. No Kawhi, Clippers +7. Nice job there. Thank you, Slatsy. Thank you, guys. All right, Deshaun G ready to get to work. TJ in the house. Great to see you. Star of the gift play of the day. Imp 13. Ron Crawford with the spreadsheet play of the day. It is in New York Yankees -1 at +109. New York Yankees -1 at +109. Yankees at home to the Blue Jays. Kukuch up against Domingo Herman. Spreadsheet play of the day was a casher yesterday. Shout out to our Ron Crawford. I rode with him. It's nice running with the spreadsheet play of the day. He's now 6-4. Spreadsheet play of the day on the show plus 2.23 units. ROI 22.3%. Average line plus 101. Great job. Padres -1 at -104 yesterday. All right. I love it. Roger that. Ready to get to work. Real Deal Prime, Johnny K, Hunter Engelhart. It's a great group. Harold Williams, Lucci Mello, Lucas R, Brian Watson, North Ender, Archie 20. Let's get after it and let's get into NHL. I have beaten this NHL card up today, and I expect to be paid here. There's Billy Friedrich off a great night. I love seeing that. Billy, my guy. Let's get to work here. Game 1, 7 p.m. Eastern, East first round. Game 3, Carolina up 2-0. Hurricanes 52-21-9 in the regular season. They were a good road team, 24-11-6. Islanders 42-31-9 during the regular season, and they became a good home team down the stretch, 25-13-3 overall. We're at UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. I have Antti Ranta and Ilya Sorokin listed. Let's take a look at the line history. I've already moved on the under 5 at +117. I just like it a lot. It was available at Pinnacle this morning at +124. Let's see what kind of moves have happened in this marketplace. Islanders open up at -106. They're now -112. They got up to -117 at 10:04 a.m. So there's been 5 cents of buyback. From a total scenario, this opened up 5.5 -140 to the under. Wow, look at that. Huge move to the under. This under now at Pinnacle, under 5 is at +113. Wow. It's actually gone up 2 cents since then, +115. But this was at +124 this morning. I know because I did an early morning radio show and gave out Pinnacle prices. So this is a big move to the under, and I fully agree with it. We've talked about this power play at 30th in the league. Billy Friedrich says Teravainen wasn't having a good season anyway, so that isn't a huge loss. Svechnikov is. I agree that Svechnikov is a much bigger loss than Teravainen. But when I look at these lines, look at your second line. You're going to have to move Noesen up. So your second line will be what? Martinu, Kotkaniemi, and Natchez? Did you move Drury there? Did you put Stastny up on the wing? All of a sudden, Noesen, Aho, and Jarvis isn't even a good first line. But, Slavin, Burns, Pesci, Shea, Ghost, Chatfield, strong D, and Aho's the best player on the ice, even though it's more because of his defensive accountability and his, ability to win faceoffs. Remember, they're the 5th in the league in faceoffs. And we talked about the Islanders power play, 30th in the league. The Carolina penalty killing, 2nd in the league. Slatsy says, looked at that under but couldn't get there. There will be penalties after all the missed calls and coaches' complaints. That it just doesn't concern me at all here. And now seeing this huge move to the under at Pinnacle means that big bets are coming in on the under. And Slatsy, there's lots of options on today's card, so don't feel forced to move on any one game on this 4-game slate. There's a ton of options. I've moved on every single one of these games. And yeah, Billy Friedrich's right. Teravainen wasn't playing well. No goals, 1 assist over his last 9 games. It still hurts him. He is still, capable, and he's a sniper, and he's, you want him out there on the power play. So the Hurricanes scored twice with the power play in that first game. And then last game, the Islanders had no power plays, and the Hurricanes had 6 and 2 double minors. So, yeah, I can understand, Slatsy, that it will come back and maybe some calls will go the Islanders' way. I get that. TJ said that this is such an evenly matched series. He decided to bet draw on each game so far at money. That's a great way of doing it. There's NJ Striker in the house. Great to see all you guys. So with all that said, we can move on. I'm on the under 5. I got plus 117 at Bet365. I'd be curious if that has changed here. Yes, it has. It's about plus 115. But I had to build it at the time. It wasn't available. Now it is 5 on the board. Mally Mouse, if you had one bet for $500 today, who would it be? I think I'd like to talk this out. I preferably like to talk this all out before I just give it to you right now. But I'll copy and paste this, Mally, and we can see if there's anything better than that one. And I think there probably is. And the gift. So that means that we do have a gift from TJ. We do have a gift from TJ. Billy Friedrich says Kane's power play since Svechnikov injury, 20 games, has been 8 for 56, 14.29%, which is worse than the Islanders' 30th ranked power play over the year, barely. That's how bad the Islanders' power play is. All right, let's move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Boston Bruins, and the gift is in. The gift is in. Oakland, Texas, over 8 at minus 115. The gift is in. 13 and is it 2 or 13 and 3? There's Big Show Picks in the house. If you haven't heard the new podcast with Big Show Picks, Millsy and Brizzy, it's excellent. Definitely check it out. Let's get this locked in for you. This Oakland, Texas total here. There we go. The gift is in. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day is on the Edmonton Oilers. Let's get that up here so we can discuss that when we get to the final game on the card in NHL. All right, let's get back to work here. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, East first round game 3. Boston Bruins, Florida Panthers, series tied at 1. Bruins were 31-8-2 on the road. Panthers were 23-13-5 at home. Florida Live Arena and Sunrise. There was giveaways. Boston played poorly. You had Sam Bennett back in Florida. You have Florida playing with the house's money, which makes them a dangerous hockey team. This is the first time we're going to see Boston with any kind of adversity. This is a scary spot if you want Boston, because the line is not moving at all. And there's a ton of money on Boston. So sharps believe the Panthers are live in game 3 at home. And, God bless them. No, TJ, I wouldn't. I want the 5 at plus money. I want the 5 at plus money. I don't want the 5.5 at minus 135. Personally. All right, so back to this spot here. I've been watching tape of Bergeron on the ice. I imagine I'm watching him shoot, watching him take one-timers. I imagine it's affecting his face-offs. There's people upset that he played in game 82. He didn't need to play in it, but his dad's dying of cancer. It was the last time that his dad was going to be able to watch him play. Dad, family's from Montreal, was in the Bell Center. So who can blame him? But now he's hurt. And I need him back. And I'm betting that he will come back. But he may not. Sam Bennett coming back after 12 games was a big deal. They need Bergeron out there, but they also need some adversity. They've only lost one other game by more than one goal at home all year. They won their last 8 regular season games, 15 of their last 16. And I watched Bergeron on the ice. So I'm on the Bruins -1. I want Bergeron out there, obviously. If he's not out there, I don't feel like I'm screwed. This is a very public bet in NHL, and I don't care. North Ender says they don't need him in the series. No, they need him. They need him. He's the center on a line that's called the perfection line because they're perfect. Krejci's a hell of a center, but he's not even moved up to the top line. It's Pavel Zacha that's moved up there. So I want him out there. I'm on the Bruins -1 to +106. It's a very public play. And that's all fine. It doesn't scare me in the NHL. Now, the Knights in game 1 were a public play. The Sharps were on the Jets. They got that cash. Maybe they get it in again here. North Ender says I would save him for the next series. You can save him for game 4, but if you're down 2-1, there may not be a next series. So you can save him here if you want. By watching him, I watched him on the ice in practice yesterday, and he looked pretty good. We'll see. That is the game 2 on the docket, Bruins -1. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Oh, we should probably just touch on the movement of the total as well. The total in that Bruins game has gone from 6 to 6.5. And, Slatsy thinks there's going to be goals there as well. JTEL, just follow the beat writers. Follow the beat writers. And it was Bergeron alone on the ice. It was before practice. He was on the ice alone. That's another, bad sign. He can't be out there with the group, but he was out there alone before practice. All right, and anytime you need any information on any sport, and you don't always get it, but the first place to go is just type in whatever team it is and beat writer. It'll take you right to their Twitter. That's the best way to handle things. All right, let's move on. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, West first round, game 3. The series tied 1-1. Stars, Minnesota Wild, Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. Maybe the Wild wanted to. Now, I don't know I don't think any team would do this in the playoffs, but they were down Eriksson Ek. They were down Ryan Hartman. They were down John Klingberg, who's had a horrible year in Anaheim before he came over, so maybe he's not that important. And then they decided to put in Marc-Andre Fleury. I mean, why? I don't know. I don't know why they would do that. Gustafsson is back in net. Franchise record, 51 saves in the series opener. I'm going right back to the well with the under. I got 5.5 at -120. That's exactly where it is right now at Bet365. It was -115 at Bet Online. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. These are very good goaltenders, and the Wild have to play a certain way. This is just how they're, how they've been taught to play a certain way, and it's a clean, tight defensive game with no mistakes. There has not been any movement on the money line over at Pinnacle. From a totals perspective, there's been a 4-cent move to the under. There had been a 10-cent move to the under, so it's come back a little bit. The big move to the under happened yesterday at 3:30 p.m., and it stayed that way until about 9 this morning. Stayed that way till about 9 this morning. Brian Watson said there were sports broadcasters said Bergeron looked bad at skate. Look, I watched it. I watched him take one-timers. So I watched it. That's all. So I can't comment on sports broadcasters, but I can tell you that I did, in fact, watch it. That's all. All right. Back to the spot here. Wild coming off that ugly 7-3 loss. Series tied up at 1 apiece. Eriksson Ek out. Ryan Hartman, out. And so they've had to move Matthew Boldy over to center. They've also brought Oscar Sundqvist into the lineup, and he looked pretty good, even though they lost 7-3. He looked pretty good. The thing about Boldy at center is not that he can't do it. He's a very good hockey player. It's just that there's all these extra defensive responsibilities when you're at center. And down the stretch with Kaprizov out, Boldy went on an absolute tear. You don't want him to have all these defensive responsibilities. You want him to be able to think about scoring, and he can't do that at center. So I think that it hurts them offensively moving, Boldy over two center ice. Let's go over to the Stars. This Stars team with a ton of confidence. Yes, Pavelski's out. Obviously, they want him in, so they've moved Seguin up there alongside Robertson and Hintz, and Rupi Hintz is he's so important, and now he's healthy and hot. So I do, but I don't know if he's going to be in. He must not be able to take faceoffs. There's something going on, obviously, but I don't know what it is here. JT Eel says, don't centers take the most shots on goal? Look, I don't have those stats in front of me, but there's a reason why the top snipers on every team are wingers. I mean, don't put McDavid and Crosby. They're the best players of our generation in that conversation, and Draisaitl. But generally speaking, your sniper is a winger. It was always that on my hockey teams growing up. That's just how it is, So, look, I'm on the under 5.5. I got minus 120. I don't know if I want. If I had a free bet, I'd take the Stars, but I don't know if I want them here. I don't want to challenge Minnesota's character. I want the Stars to win badly, because I've got a future on the series, but I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'll have to compound any losses. So, Slatsy was nuts. Absolutely crazy. But maybe they were just creating a situation where nobody will ask for Fleury again. I don't think they would do that, but maybe they saw the injuries, thought, let's just we won game one. Let's just let Fleury get shelled so nobody will ask for him again. And then we can just play Gustafsson the rest of the way. I hope that conversation didn't take place. I don't expect that conversation took place, but it's possible that conversation could have taken place. I'm on the under 5.5 in Dallas, Minnesota, at minus 120. Let's go back to the final spot on our NHL card, 10 p.m. Eastern. Edmonton Oilers at Los Angeles Kings. Oilers 50-23-9, 27-11-3 on the road this year. They were very good on the road. Johnny K says, kind of like Minnie in this one. I get it. I think probably at a pick'em, you probably want the home team in game 3 coming off a loss in Minnesota. But again, I don't like moving Boldy over. Back to this Oilers-Kings spot where crypto in Los Angeles. Oilers tied up the series with a 4-2 win in game 2. Draisaitl goal and 2 assists. McDavid an assist. Stuart Skinner made 23 saves. And when you watch, the Oilers are all over them in the first period. The Oilers are taking the play to them. On Wednesday, the Kings took 3 shots on goal in the opening frame. So Turnsey says McDavid held off the score sheet so far for goals. Just play his goal prop tonight. There's Domi Gunricci in the house. No, Rem, he is not. It is Daby Cab opening up his MLB account here. And I'm excited. Opening up his MLB account. And, we track all these guys, so it's exciting. It's exciting that he's doing that. Back to this spot here. Look at this series. When these two teams have played, it's been extremely pressure-filled, tight hockey in the last 2 times they met in the last 20 games of the year. The Kings have a lineup that can slow down the best centers in the league. It's really no surprise that we're sitting here with. I mean, sure, you could say it's a surprise that McDavid hasn't scored, but if you want a center to go up against Connor McDavid, I mean, you have him in Philip Deneau, and you have him in Anze Kopitar. You want Deneau on most of the time, but it's just they're 2 perfect centers to go up against McDavid. Kempe rolling right now. They're playing without Fiala, but this was not a situation where I expect a ton of goals. I'm on the under 6.5 here, and I'm quite confident in the under 6.5. I told you guys that in game 2, the Oilers could score 2 goals in the first period, and the under 6.5 would still be live. That's exactly what happened. And, I just think that this shouldn't be the 6.5. We saw how the Oilers played on the road down the stretch. When they were playing good hockey teams, they played perfect playoff type hockey. And I expect them to do that again tonight, to play very tight and just to focus on capitalizing on their odd man rushes when you have McDavid or Draisaitl or Nuge out there. And that's what I expect. So I think the Kings are still very live in this series. I don't think the fact that they lost a game 2 or they being outplayed, that's all they wanted to do was come back 1-1. But we saw this last year. We saw this last year. Apologize for my son crying there, but we saw this last year. The Kings won game 1 and couldn't finish the job. Lost the series in 7. I expect that to happen again today. Derek Para says, do you like the Nuggets money line tonight? I want to go over it all with everybody. I can tell you I have made 2 bets in NBA, and that's the Hawks team total over and the full game over in Celtics Atlanta. That's it. So I'd prefer to talk about, study all the market moves, do it all together before I give a lean on those 2 spots. But I have bet the other game, the first game up here. All right. There you go. Turnsy says, for anyone that has got a piece of the Leafs to win the series yet, do it now while the series is still 1-1. This is the biggest bet he's made in 8 years. 8 years. All right. I'm on the under 6.5 in Edmonton Oilers, Los Angeles Kings. Fiala not in the lineup. Obviously, the Oilers are missing Janmark, and that hurts them. But having Fiala out of the lineup, this is just perfectly set up for the tightest playoff hockey you can imagine. We've already seen the Oilers do that on the road. So I think they're going to play tight. The Kings are going to win face-offs, but not be able to handle the possession or it's very tough when you deal with the Oilers' top 6 forwards. So, all right, I'm on the under 6.5. M13 has the Kings taking the Oilers out in 7 and the Lightning in 7. All right, so let's review all action here in NHL. Carolina, New York Islanders under 5 at plus 117. I have the Bruins -1 at plus 106. Dallas, Minnesota under 5.5 at minus 120. And Edmonton, LA Kings under 6.5 at minus 115. Ron Crawford NHL spreadsheet play of the day is Edmonton. And just like game 2s, I find very easy to predict. I feel the same about game 4s. So at this point, the only side that I'm on is expecting the Bruins to handle adversity. And obviously, we'll find that out because that game pops off early, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Western. Turnsy says he played the pre-series minus 138, then got it plus money after game 1. I love it. And he also bet Sammy Culmer straight up for 250. I love it. I love it. M13 says have bets on Rangers and Stars to win the cup right now. The Rangers look excellent. So I'm very excited about that as well. So let's just let's hope the Panthers take out the Bruins, and then who can stop the Rangers other than the winner of Leafs Lightning? Now, I know Dennis is probably sitting there going Carolina, but I just don't know if they can with the injuries that they've been dealt with. All right, that is NHL for today. Let's move on to MLB here. I apologize. There won't be games underneath. I will timestamp this when it's over. There's a flood in San Antonio. Sharpie says the biggest day of the year for him on Boxing Day today. 11-3 last 14 K props. He's locked 4 in and he's waiting 2 more on lineups. Says wait for my spots and pounce like that fat bastard Minot. I don't like calling him a fat bastard, but I get it. He's not in the best shape. That's Nate laughing. Take out the Bruins. Look, I don't want the Bruins. Well, for my futures, I do, but I have put myself in a situation now where, I'm betting the Bruins here. So, all right. Johnny K says Rangers take out the Bruins in the Eastern Conference Final. That would be very, very, very fun. Lou Chase Fox saying that he will be there at the Boxing Day at 3:10 p.m. Eastern. All right, let's move on to MLB. And we had the big Ragu make his MLB debut on this show. And now we have another excellent MLB capper making his debut for MLB on this show. And that's how we are going to be moving forward here. Wednesday, Friday, 1 week will be Ragu and Daby Cab. Next week, Wednesday and Friday, will be C-Mac and Bobano. And it will keep going like that throughout the year. So we have 4 MLB experts there. Then we have Loshak, of course, on Tuesdays and Jose Bouquet on Thursdays. That is how we are handling things. Let's get to work in MLB and bring on one of our stars here at Pub Sports Radio. Drafted in the big leagues, signed in the big leagues, and he knows how to cap the sport inside and out and has a spectacular take on pitchers. Please welcome, without any further ado, from Dallas, Texas, Mr. Dabra Cadabra to the show. Dabby, what's happening, man?
What's up, Jimmy? What's up, guys? Chat, everybody. Ready to get some motherfucking money today. I see my guy Mal in the chat. What up, Mally? He's been killing this baseball season, man. I'm ready to get going, Jimmy.
I'm excited. We have such a great group of MLB cappers. And then we have, of course, Sharpie with the Walking Dead. It's a great, great group to work with. We must succeed. And I expect us to. Let me just get this all set up here so we can move quickly into MLB and get the cash flow here up and Adam. And I've made 2 bets, but just on one game. There was a couple spots that I wanted to bet, but the lines were going against me. And I thought, let's just wait and talk it out with the group. Let's go here. Hunter Engelhart says your room looks weirdly smoke-free today. We know that's not the case.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay. Let's get this up and Adam here. Okay, so Jose has got his car back. His parents needed it for some emergency runs with the flood, so he's going to try to get down to the studio. So he's going to drive down to the studio now. And we know that you care very much, Jose. There's no question about that. Okay, let's get into action here. Move over here. Get this. I don't know what's happening here. Get the cash flow up as well. The Action Network. And let's go. We have BJ says, I'm at work, but catch another 4-uniter last night. You sure did. And today he's on the Brewers money line. Brewers money line with a K. He's been white hot. Our man PJ has been absolutely white hot. Let me copy and paste the Brewers. Look, I took a long look at the Brewers. The line, it just confused me that the market wasn't moving over to the Brewers. It confused me. Jose knows very well in my starting 5. Freddie Peralta is a part of my starting 5. Domi Gunricci looking at Islanders first period under. The only thing I would take, Domi, is the under a half, maybe with less money. I don't want to take the under 1.5 at juiced prices, heavily juiced prices, because if it's 1-1 after 1, you can still catch the under. But let's get to work. Daby Cab, opening your account here. We're excited to watch you rock this year. We start at 2:20 p.m. Eastern. The Los Angeles Dodgers 10-10, 4-4 on the road at Chicago Cubs 11-7, 5-5 at home. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's get over to the weather. How did I lose all this stuff? I had it all up. I don't know what's happening here. Let's get over to the Swish weather report and see what we are dealing with. Here we go. Come on. All right, here we go. We have 55 Fahrenheit at Wrigley, 9.5 miles per hour out to center field. Gets up to 11.8 miles per hour at the end of it. Take a look at the line history here for this one. The Dodgers opened up at minus 150. They got up to minus 161. Actually, they got up to 169 at 9 in the morning. Wow, Jesus. I didn't see this. They got up to 174 at 7:40 this morning. Up to minus 174. Wow. So we've had 19 cents of buyback on the Chicago Cubs. That is a lot of buyback. Totals wise, it's opened up at 9.5, minus 113 to the over, or to the under, excuse me. It's now minus 114 to the over. So a 15-cent move there to the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one here. Our first game on the board here, a beauty, 2:20 p.m. And we have the Cubbies up against the Dodgers. We have 59% of the tickets and 75% of the cash on the Dodgers, but this strange big move back to the Cubs. From a total perspective, we have 64% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on the over. And these pitchers just faced each other. Julio Urias has been great this year. There was a 3-2 win for the Cubs. Urias went 5 2/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 2 homers, 6 Ks, 1 walk. Smiley looked very good, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Solo shot 3 Ks, 2 walks in that 3-2 spot versus the Cubs. We have Smiley, very questionable, but a pitcher that I think gives you value when he's not dealing with any kind of arm fatigue, which is what's going on now. The Dodgers don't have any average against lefties, 195, but 746 OPS. Cubs versus lefties, so 302, 809 OPS. Dodgers bullpen has looked looked better yesterday. I mean, but still 4.45 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. Cubs bullpen 3.88 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. Take it away for us, Daby Cab. Your first game of the season, Dodgers Cubs.
Man, this is an interesting one because it gives you a lot of reason to want to look at the Cubs here. Julio gave up 3 runs, 2 earned against the Cubs last time out. But before that, he's given up 2 or fewer runs in all 4 of his first starts. Against the Cubs, though, lifetime 1-2 with the 4.66 ERA. And you talked about LA's bats. They've been struggling a little bit, but they're still putting up 5.21 runs per game this year. And Smiley here making his 4th start this year. Last time out against LA, he did great. 5.2 innings, only gave up 1 run. He's also faced this team a lot. He's got a 4.66 ERA. And 29 career starts versus LA. So he's familiar with them. He does decent, I guess, a little above average. But you look at what the Dodgers have done. They've won 21 of their last 24 games with Julio on the mound. And Smiley, before his last game against the Dodgers, he gave up 15 runs in 9.1 innings. Now, I know that a lot of it came in the first game, like 7 of them. But still, he's a time bomb. He always has been a time bomb with me. He's an inning eater type guy. That's all he is. And I think this is a spot with the Dodgers where in the first 5, I got no problem laying the run line. I'm getting a good value on it. So I've got the Dodgers first 5 run line here. You can arguably say the Cubs are, the better hitting team, especially right now. But I think this is still a spot where I'm getting good value on a really good pitcher who, like I said, has won 21 of his last 24 starts. So.
Yeah, I believe in Urias as well. I wonder, seeing him, both of these pitchers a second time, you can imagine would probably help this offense. I do agree with this move to the over. Daby?
Are you asking me if I agree with the move to the over?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people, I think they're piling on that. People are piling on it because it's the second time in 2 weeks that we've seen these 2 pitchers. It depends on how you look at it. When you got somebody like Julio, I think that he'll be all right because, from a lefty with a lot of his different junk, he's going to still be able to mix it up. So it's not really going to matter. But on the other side, I think Smiley could get touched up a little bit today.
The over 5 should not be minus 130, Mal. You would definitely line shop around. It's minus 110 for me here. It has moved to minus 115 at Pinnacle. It was minus 117. It's come back 2 cents as of 11 minutes ago. But it should not be that price. I'll just give you a quick setup of exactly where it is at all the different books. But I would never take that at minus 130. Right now, that over 5 is the cheapest is at $5 minus 105, but it's at minus 115 in most places. Bookmaker and BetCris have moved it to minus 117. I'm going to bet this right now at minus 110. I'll bet this first 5 over 5 right now at minus 110. Did you tweet out any of your action?
Yeah, I got Cubs first 5. I think I paid minus 115 for it. Let me pull it up.
I thought you were on the
Dodgers. I just said I was looking at what chat said. Our guy Benny said Cubs coming off a revenge spot. You don't want to call one game, one win in baseball a revenge spot. If anything, this is a revenge spot for the Dodgers because Julio lost his last start against the Cubs just a week ago. So if anything, in his head, he's ready to come back out and get the win here. I'd look at the pitcher as the revenge spot, not the team.
I feel you. Yeah. I don't. I don't really. We don't even talk about what happened yesterday for a reason. So I'm with you on that. Let me pull up what your Twitter action is here. But what was the line you got on the Dodgers?
Minus 115 on the run line, minus half a run in the first 5.
You got it. So I'm going to be on the first 5 over 5. I'm going to bet that right now. I'm going to bet that as soon as Daby starts talking about this next game, because I don't need to talk much about it. Let's get into it. Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I moved on the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 105 and the full game under 8.5 at minus 110. I bet them last night. Let's discuss the situation here. We'll start with the weather in Pittsburgh. Nice Pictures Park. It's 81 Fahrenheit, 12.3 miles per hour, a right to left, to the left field pole. By the end of the game, it dies down to 7.3 miles per hour, and it's, still just right to left, almost, completely right to left without a move out, but very, very slightly out at 6:30 when it starts here. Let's go over to the line history for this one. Ashcraft versus Keller. We have a 10-cent move to the Pirates. There had been a 17-cent move. So we've come back 7 cents. It was at minus 145 at 10:40 this morning. Totals wise, there has not been a move to the under. There had been. This was at minus 115 to the under. There's been a big move to the over in the last hour. So this over was at over 8.5 at plus 103. There's been a 19-cent move to the over 8.5. That makes me uncomfortable. For the first 5, though, there's not been a move to the. There's not been any move. It's still just sitting exactly where it was. Now it was minus 116 to the under. So there has been a 12-cent move since 9:57 a.m., but not since the line opened up. That makes me uncomfortable. That makes me uncomfortable for sure. TJ says the full game under 8.5 was the second best play for him. I love seeing that. Love seeing that. All right, let's go over to the cash on this one here. Let's get all markets. So I'm going to keep going back. Here we go. So for the money line, 63% of the tickets, 70% of the cash is on the Pirates, and 48% of the tickets and 91% of the cash is on the under. That would be all well and good if there wasn't this move that just happened. But Ashcraft, 2-0, 1.42 ERA, 1.16 whip, 17 Ks, 19 innings, 1 home run allowed, 19 innings. He's just a pitcher I trust. Last start against, now it was at home, so we can have some uncomfort with him on the road. It's legitimate, but at home the Phillies are raking righties, and he just shut them down. 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 4 Ks, 4 walks. We have Mitch Keller on the other side, and I love Keller at home, and I expect Keller to take care, to do enough, I guess, just to do enough. I expect Mitch Keller to do enough. Last start at the Cardinals, St. Louis, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, and 2 walks. Reds hitting 247, 708 OPS versus righties. Pirates 237, 754 OPS. Reds bullpen, a 3.93 ERA, 1.46 whip. Pirates bullpen, 3.80 ERA, 1.49 whip. I vaguely believe in these bullpens enough. I believe enough, I should say. There's our guy, Rocky Manichetti, in the house. Great to see you. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab. Reds, Pirates.
Man, I might have to get behind the Reds here in Ashcraft. This is, and shout out to our guy, Jose. Last Saturday, I think it was, when Ashcraft's last start was, when we were talking through all his metrics and basically something that says, like, he's only behind, like, DeGrom and, like, 2 other pitchers, like, at the top with his stuff. It was very interesting. And then he went out and threw 6 shutout innings after that. Both of these pitchers have already faced these teams this year. Keller went against his first game for Keller this year against Cincinnati. He only went 4.2 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs. All 4 of those runs were earned, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. Since then, he's bounced back. Hey, he's had 3 quality starts since then. But this is a spot where I think Ashcraft, you look at what he's done. He did throw against Atlanta on the road just 2 games ago, 6 innings, gave up 6 hits. Only 2 earned runs, going against an Atlanta team that's just been a buzzsaw right now. If you're able to go 6 innings, have a quality start against Atlanta, that's something. He shut down Pittsburgh in his first start, 7 innings, only gave up 4 hits, only gave up 1 run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. And then you said what he did against Philly here. Ashcraft's elite. I mean, he is. He's a top tier pitcher, and he's the underdog in this game. So I think there's a lot of value here on the Reds in the first 5.
Well, TJ says he's a very strong system angle backing Cincinnati today, and anything better than plus 130. So Chad Lehman liking Cincy first 5. Jarek White on the Reds money line. Northender leaning towards the Reds. Johnny K liking Reds as the big dog here. And, Max Welly saying Mitch Keller career record 13-29. I can't put money on that guy. I think that not only is he better than the record indicates, but the team is better than it's been in a little while. So I can understand the concern, but I wouldn't.
They've scored 31 in their last 3 games. That's incredible.
Yeah,
the Pirates,
I wouldn't. Yeah, the Pirates. Yeah, I wouldn't. So I wouldn't put too much into it, into how bad his record is, especially at home. Luchase Fox says, ride the wave, keep betting the Buccos till they break. I could not talk you off a pass in this match up, though. Ashcraft, not too shabby for sure. So did you move on this spot, or are you just going to think about it?
I have not bet this one. I might get to the window on it, though. Pretty strong lean on the Reds first 5, and I would just take the plus money.
Okay, let's roll on. Next up for us, 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Chicago White Sox 7-12, 4-6 on the road at Tampa Bay Rays 16-3, 10-0 at home, 10-0 at home. Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Let's take a look at the line history here for this spot. We have move over here. The Rays opening up -160. There's been a 1 cent move to the White Sox. This did get up to -171 a couple times. So since then, we've come back 12 cents on the White Sox. That's interesting. This total opened up at 8. It has gone up a full run to 9. It is juiced to the under. It's a bullpen day for the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's pull up the cash flow here for this one. We have 15% of the tickets and 33% of the cash on the White Sox and legit buyback. We have 92% of the tickets and 92% of the cash on the over. Very, very big. UPK Ayash. Is that Ayash Yala in the house? I'm not sure. UPK Ayash says, let's cash some tickets. Cashed on a few live bets last night at the casino and ready to do it again. Likes the Reds, but cannot fade the Pirates right now. Jonathan Muniz in the house as well. Rocco Rogers looking at Rays run line here. Rays a run line.
Oh, I got a +198 on the 76ers. Shout out to our guy Dutch. He told me he was on the 4.5, and they were losing in the third quarter last night. So I was like, fuck it. I put 100 on that +198. Boom. That was a good cash. First NBA bet of the season that was a side, too. I bet props, but no sides.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. That always helps. Always helps. Kopech gives up way too much power, says Rocco Rogers. There was a lot of talk so far this year about him tipping his pitches. He's not looked good. Allowed 7 home runs in 15 2/3, 14 Ks, 10 walks, 6.32 ERA, 1.66 WHIP. They're coming off a 7-6 extra inning victory at home versus the Orioles. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, and 4 walks here. Going up against Calvin Foucher. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. It's a bullpen day. He's allowed to run in 4 straight appearances. He started last game, and he actually went 2 2/3 in his last appearance. He started his lone start of the year. 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, 1 walk. It was a 5-2 loss at Toronto. White Sox versus righties, 254, 701. Again, another season where the White Sox have no power against righties. Rays versus righties, 278, 891. White Sox bullpen absolutely atrocious. Yeah, I thought it might be AUCH and it pronounced Faulkner, probably. Faulkner. White Sox bullpen is being horrible. Rays bullpen being so good. 2.89 ERA, 1.08 a WHIP. Take it away for us here. We have, the small amount of bets on the White Sox, but bigger bets on the White Sox, and then we have a lot of money on the over. Remo says maybe Cabby can break down NBA today since he's undefeated. Billy Brisbane will be here today. Billy Brisbane will be rolling with us. He's going to come in and Cab, and he's fresh off sweeping the board yesterday. So
beautiful. Work and this guy, no, you don't want me doing the NBA. I'll stick with what I know. I might finish this season undefeated because I might go 1-0.
Well, let's talk White Sox Rays right now. Jonathan Muniz loving the over 8.5 in the Rays game, and take it away. Can't wait to hear about it. White Sox Rays.
All right. So Kopech is one of those guys, man, that I've bought into it. I've already bet him this year and been burned. Like, you look at what he's got and you just think, hey, this guy should have elite stuff. But he doesn't. He's flat. His last start was decent against the Orioles. He still didn't get a win in it. But you said it. He's given up 7 home runs in just 15.2 innings. And another thing he's doing is walking people. Tipping pitches or not, I don't care. Stop fucking walking people. That is one of my biggest pet peeves against any pitcher ever, is when you're giving up free bases. And when you're walking people and giving up home runs, that's a problem. Because it's one thing to give up a 1-run homer. It's another thing to give up a 2 and a 3-run homer. You can't give up crooked numbers. And that's what Kopech has been doing pretty much all season. And, he's leading the majors in home runs allowed, and he's going against the Rays team with 42 home runs already this season. Obviously in first place there. They have a team batting average of 288, which is just absolutely insane. I think the Rays are going to miss Springer here. This would be his slot start, but he's on the IL. I think they're going to miss him, but I still think they have a really deep bullpen. You touched on that ERA for the whole bullpen. I think their bullpen can probably get them through a game like this. I think they'll be up for it because they'll be excited knowing that this is a bullpen game. I understand why people are looking at Kopech and thinking maybe he gets right here, but I'm not making that mistake again. I would look Rays team total if I was going to bet this game, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on this buyback on the way. I'm certainly not going to fade a 10-0 spot here. And Mike M is using Tampa Bay in the hip to be square parlay. Tampa Bay, Milwaukee plus 152. That's up 3.22 units.
Hell yeah, you tracking that too? I love watching that. He's
Yeah.
even record with up 3.2 units. Guy, pimp slap play of the day. He's killing it out there, man.
Yeah, he's a great capper. A lot of fun. All right. TJ says, I'm not starting today, but a pro bettor is probably betting against the Rays the next 14 to 20 days. Will be profitable because numbers always regress. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm not going to move on that one. Let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Rockies, Phillies. Rockies 6-14, 3-7 on the road. Phillies 8-12, 3-4 at home. We're at Citizens Bank Park, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I want to fade Noah Davis in this start badly, but at what price? I mean, Nola is not showing that he should be this big of a favorite, even if we're very confident in him or in the Phillies or not believing in Noah Davis. So, but I can't at this price. I mean, this price is absolutely ridiculous. We'll start with the weather here. Now, in the last few weeks, in the first few weeks of the season, we've seen these huge market moves to favorites, them just smashing. We've seen that. That doesn't make me want to be on a minus 300 on Nola at this point. 67 Fahrenheit, 9.9 miles per hour right to left, and then it's like slightly in. Gets down to 8.5, slightly in. The line history-wise, Philadelphia opened up at minus 255. They're now minus 297. So there was a huge move. There was a 16-cent move at 9:11 this morning to minus 294. It got up to minus 298, a little bit of buyback, and then back up to minus 297. From a total side of things, this opened up at 8.5, minus 117 to the over. There's been a 4-cent move to the under. This did get to 9 for a second, but there's been some buyback on the under. Take a look at the cash flow here for these Philadelphia Phillies. Where is it? Sorry, it'll take me a second here to get them up. Here we go. So cash-wise, we have 91% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the Philadelphia Phillies. If the line wasn't moving, I'd very, very happily be on the other side. But at this point, look, the books are making it pretty outrageous. You can imagine this has become a parlay piece on a ton of tickets. 59% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the over, but we've seen buyback on the under. Noah Davis, there's a few of these pitchers that I've got set up here to discuss a little bit deeper, and Noah's one of them. He's, 11th round draft pick. I wouldn't say that's middling. I think of, but 11th round draft pick out of Cal. We have him.
What year was he drafted? that's
2018, right? Because he's 25. Well, he turns 26 tomorrow. I guess he wants to party. I'm sure he wants to party tonight. And that's a UC Santa Barbara. I thought it was just Cal, but UC Santa Barbara is where he came from. Okay, so we've seen one good start from him, 5 innings, one good start this year. That was up against, that was at Seattle, and he looked very good. It was a 1-0 loss, but he looked very good in that start. He's had, how many starts? 3 starts in Albuquerque, 4.26 ERA, 1.66 whip. He has walked 7 batters in 12 2/3. So he has 6 strikeouts and 7 walks in 3 starts in Albuquerque. If we go back to last year, he was absolutely atrocious, I thought, in AA Hartford. I mean, a 5.54 ERA. He was 8-8 with 5.54 ERA, 1.45 whip. Then he had 1 start in Albuquerque that went pretty well. This is a guy I would like to fade badly. I'd like to fade badly, but how? TJ said Rockies plus 1.5 on this card, just like it was last night. Philadelphia is still overrated in the market. Somehow they suck. They suck, but they are, and this number is dropping, but they are hitting 280, 789 versus righties. Rockies 250, 710 OPS versus righties. I just can't trust Nola at this number. 5.91 ERA, 1.45 whip. Last start, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 4 Ks, 3 walks, and a 14-3 win at the Reds. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab. Rockies, Phillies.
I'll be honest, with the 15 games on the slate today, I looked at this one and I fucking just moved on. I'll talk about it. I can give some numbers, but you said it 10 times. There is no fucking reason for Philly to be this big of a favorite. Minus 350 in this spot. That's just absolutely ridiculous. They have won 4 of their last 6 games. They're playing well offensively right now, scoring 26 runs in their last 4 games. I can go into tons of numbers in this. I can't bet this game, Jimmy. I just can't do it. This line is outrageous. I would look at a team total. If you want the Phillies, I'd look at a team total. I'd stay away from the full game, and I'd probably look at the 2.5, maybe the 1.5 with the Rockies if I was going to bet a side. But I'm not doing that. Fuck this game.
And look at Mike. Mike M saying Phillies in the 22-0 spot today, and still doesn't think he can roll with the Phillies. So I agree the sentiment. UPK looking at Phillies first 5 minus a half. That's really expensive. I just really want to fade Noah Davis, and maybe it's a mistake, but I don't believe what we saw. I mean, he was great, but I just don't believe he'll do it again. So I looked at ways to do it. The first 3 minus a half was minus 140. And
that's still so pricey. If you could get like a -1, minus 115 or something, I'd be down with that. But
another thing that makes me think that they're going to dominate here is that Bet365 is not offering a first 5 minus a half.
Have you looked at their team total instead of having to worry about covering a 3 runs?
Yeah, the full game's 5.5 for me, and I'd have to go over to Bet Online for a first 5. But I'll just to get an idea of what the first 5 is here. I'll pull up Pinnacle here. The first 5 team total is 2.5 at minus 143. That's a lot of juice.
They're just not giving you any value. It doesn't matter how you look at it. They're like minus 140 or better. Suck it.
I'd love to get that
worse
2.5. I just can't. I can't pay the juice. Yeah, you guys are right. Luke Murphy says they got shut out by Feltner yesterday. Piker is on the Rockies plus 1.5 and plus 115 as well. All right, I just want to see exactly what is being offered here at Bet Online for the first 5 team total. Yeah, 2.5 at minus 147. All right, we got to move on. Got to move past that one. Let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers 7-10, 3-6 on the road at Baltimore Orioles 11-7, 4-3 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Charm City, Maryland. Let's take a look at the line history. We'll start with the weather in Baltimore. 80 Fahrenheit, beautiful. 8.1 miles per hour to left field. And between 8.1, 7.9 all game. Beautiful day for baseball in Baltimore. Let's pull up the line history here for this one and then get into the cash flow. Line history-wise, we have the Orioles opening up at minus 173. They're now minus 175. This surprised me. There was also the first move was full 10-cent move, even 11-cent move to the Tigers. There was an 11-cent move to the Tigers by 10:07 p.m. last night. Since 10:07 p.m. last night, the market's been moving back to the Orioles. Let's take a look at the total here. This total opening up at 8.5. It's moved to 9, but it's pretty heavily juiced to the under. So move to the over and really no move at all. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if it is playing a part here. The cash flow for this one, so many things open. Here we go. We have 95% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the Orioles. That's just so fishy. Line not moving. You have 86% of tickets, 81% cash on the over. It's gone from 8.5 to 9. That's just so fishy, man. We have Michael Lorenzen, who can't be trusted. He's made 1 start this year, 4 innings, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 6 Ks, 2 walks. It was 7-6 extra inning win at home versus the Giants. And Tyler Wells coming off a decent start at the White Sox. We know he's a good pitcher, good enough. 3.86 ERA, 0.73 WHIP thus far. Has allowed 3 home runs. Has only walked 1 batter in 16 and a third. Tigers versus righties just 222, 639. Orioles versus righties 246, 750. Tigers bullpen 4.78 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. I do expect this Tigers bullpen to improve as the season goes on. I was surprised that they got out of the gate so poorly. Orioles bullpen 3.30 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. Take it away for us. TJ says Tigers is a system play, just like the Reds today, and I see that. I mean, this is a pretty noticeable non-move towards the Orioles and an initial move towards the Tigers. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab, Tigers, Orioles.
Yeah, both these teams are playing well coming into this matchup. Something you wouldn't really have expected to say coming into this game. Lorenzen on the mound last start. He's coming off a rough one. He went just 4 innings, allowing 8 hits, 6 runs. And another thing for me in this one is the Tigers bullpen has been taxed. I get that. I get kind of this game feels somewhat evenly matched for me. But when I look into the, how much the Tigers bullpen have thrown of late, and also a shout out to a guy in the chat. Where do we go right here? Mark said it's they're having live music. It's Jackie Robinson Day, so it's going to be a fun day at the park here. That's the atmosphere matters, man. For anybody, if you're wondering if atmosphere matters in baseball, it absolutely fucking matters. Of course it does. And I think Wells here is going to be good. Baltimore's had a 12+ run differential on the season, and this Tigers team is just 3-6 on the road. So even though they've been playing above average or better than what we've expected from the Tigers, they're still, very, very subpar on the road. And this is an Orioles team that I think is going to continue to make noise. So I lean Orioles here. I'm not going against the market. No bet on this one.
Lorenzen was not bad last year. So, I mean, if we try to find,
pull this up real quick.
See, what are the?
I'll get his numbers.
I have it right here. Last year, 4.24 ERA, a 1.28 WHIP. He was 8-6 for a bad Angels team.
Yeah.
He wasn't bad. And so, if you're trying to find like what are the Sharps finding? What are they looking for? TJ says Book's loving the Baltimore action. Time to take a leap and follow your read, my friend. I think so too. But I'm very nervous to take this past beyond 3 innings. Very nervous to do that. The first 5 is plus 145. Last year, in spots where the full game was 10 cents more expensive than the first 5, my ROI was through the roof. That's what it is here.
So hold on. That's saying that if you were going to bet it, you should bet the first 5. Because I was about to say, if you're going to bet Detroit, in my opinion, you take them first 5 here, not full game, because their bullpen's been taxed.
Yeah, I almost want them first 3. This is one of those spots where you have to plug your nose and move on it. I mean, we have.
I've seen you have success already this year with Detroit in the first 3.
Yeah, they haven't been bad. North Ender says 5-cent move to Baltimore just now. You can probably wait if you like the Tigers. We got some great numbers here from Dami Gunn-Ricci. I'm going to pop up into the chat for you guys all to see here as soon as it comes. Here we go. So, Jonathan Muniz, I couldn't disagree more. Orioles run line or pass. Even if the Orioles run line does cash here, we've all been gambling for too long to not recognize that we have a game here with 81% of the cash, 86% of the tickets, and the line moved away from them. We just know what happens when the books are opening up their arms to a certain side. Why were we on the pod? Why was I on the Padres yesterday? It was same deal, except the market was moving quite quickly towards Padres, even though all the cash and tickets were on the Diamondbacks. And you might be right. I'm just saying we've been doing this too long to not take heed of what's going on in the marketplace here.
For me, I just step back. I think you do such a good job of attacking the market. If the market doesn't fit for me, I just step away from the game.
And I like doing that as well. But this is a spot where we can kind of decipher it here. We can say, look, the Sharps or the Algos think that Lorenzen is much better than he showed in that first start. That's all. Against, a Giants team that has been raking against righties. Jimmy Gomez in the house. Great to see you. Respect. Great to see you. Joe Yurkovich likes the over. Okay, I'm going to move on the Tigers. I'm just going to spend a little bit more time and decide between the first three or the first 5. So far, when I've been getting cute with first 3s, first 5s, or first periods or whatever, it's been hurting me, but I don't expect it to continue to. Mally Mouse says Tigers are 7-1 last 8 in Baltimore. Okay, let's and TJ says I have Don Best up with no line move here. Not sure what the 5-cent comment was about. Yeah, I don't have it, but I mean, obviously he sees that at a book, a 5-cent move. So okay, and Dami Gunn-Ricci took a shot at plus 156. So there you go. Okay, well I will figure out how to do it and won't enjoy it. Let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Blue Jays at New York Yankees. We're in the Bronx, and we've also arrived at the spreadsheet play of the day from Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet play of the day is coming off a winner, 6-4, 60% plus 2.23 units, ROI plus 22.30%, average line plus 101. And Jonathan saying that he'll be monitoring the game and passing on. This is what makes capping so enjoyable, is that we do our due diligence and hammer it from every single angle. Ron Crawford rolling right now with a ROI over 20% through 10 bets. And he is on the New York Yankees on the -1 line at plus 109. Shout out to our friend Ron Crawford. Okay, and Dommy Gunn saying Tigers since the start of 2020, which was our 60-game season till opening day, have the best record interleague 384 game. Well, but this one isn't. This is Tigers Orioles. It's not an interleague spot, but that is interesting. That's the case. I didn't know that. Okay, so here we go. Ron Crawford coming off a winner yesterday on the Padres. It was nice that it correlated with what I wanted to do. We're at the Yankee Stadium in Bronx, New York. Let's take a look at the weather here in the Bronx. 57 Fahrenheit, 8 miles per hour in. And it's cold. Gets down to 53 and 7.3 miles per hour in. Take a look at the line history here for this one. Here we go. Move over here. Blue Jays, Yankees. Kukuch versus Herman. The Yankees opened up -113. They're now -126. They got up to -130. Totals wise, this opened up at 9. It's dropped to 8.5. It got all the way down to 8 at 10:16 this morning. So it's come back up a half run. Take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 62% of the tickets and 84% of cash on the Yankees, the market moving towards them. We have 68% of tickets and 81% cash on the under, and the market's moving towards the under. Bo Jackson says with the New York win tonight, Yankees can become 9-5 at home this season. And Jim Tribe, Blue Jays sums to 95. And Mike M says Yankees are 0-9 on Friday games versus a team with a winning record. He says everybody likes the day of the week trends. Dommy Gunn took the Yanks in the series at -120. So I don't know what Kukuch is going to give you from any day. I don't know. But he seems to be locked in right now. We saw him have a half year that got him into the All-Star game for the Mariners. So, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 9 Ks, 1 walk, and a 5-2 win at home versus the Rays. He looked very good. 2-0, 4.70 ERA, 1.24 whips. Only walked 3 batters in 15 and a third. Has allowed 5 home runs, which always he struggles with. This is not the lineup you want to struggle with. Herman, on the other side, coming off a spectacular performance at home versus the Twins. 6 and a third, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 11 Ks, no walks. He's been very good this year. Jays are hitting 259, 748 versus righties. Look, I talked about the Yankees versus lefties yesterday. I thought there was a big dichotomy, with the Yankees versus lefties compared to the Angels with lefties. And what happened? The Yankees put up 5 runs in the first inning, and I was totally fucked. So I don't, look, their numbers are what they are, but it's too early in the season to trust the numbers. And the same thing happened to me with Minaya. It's too early in the season to trust one home start that looked good. In the top of the fourth, it was 0-0, and I thought I was right. Obviously, the floodgates opened up, and Minaya's trash. Here, the Yankees went for 5 in the first inning against a quality pitcher. So 202, 646 against lefties. But Jays bullpen 4.20 ERA, 1.31 whip. Yankees bullpen 2.04 ERA, 1.07 whip. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab, Blue Jays, Yankees.
Yeah, so this game, as far as a side, I'm a little torn on it. I think it could go either way. Kikuchi, like you said, 2-0. The Jays are 3-0 in his 3 starts. He's thrown 15.1 innings. He's given up 16 hits in those 15 innings and 5 bombs. So there has been still really solid contact against him. Last year, he made 6 appearances versus the Yankees, including 4 starts. He was 1-1 with the 3.54 ERA against him. So it's a team that he does have success against here. For me, the way, and I did bet this game. I have a bet in this game. It's Kikuchi's alarming home run rate. I don't think that's going to bode well against the Yankees here, especially not in the Yankee Stadium. We all know what kind of crackerjack park this is. And I know Kikuchi pitched well against the Yankees last year. But in those games, he gave up 4 bombs in 14 innings. So he still gave up hard contact against the Yankees. And I know that we don't really want to just bet on home runs, but I think there's going to be some really solid contact here. I took the Yankees team total over 4.5. I got it at like minus 103 too, so I didn't have to pay for it.
Look, I get it. Dennis Garcia has been backing Kukuc in every start this year, and it's been very successful for him. And he's going to do it again here, but small, and he's quite nervous here. Let's lock this in for you. So we have Daby Cab.
Hey, Chris, I want to touch on what Christopher Comentini said. So he might be in the bottom 15 and exit velo, but that's over. That's like every time somebody makes contact. Like the 5 home runs, that means he's doing something. He's hanging a pitch. Maybe he's fucking up with his off speed, but he's doing something to where that doesn't come into play whenever somebody gets a hold of it.
Huh. Absolutely wild. Mally Mal said under dead in the first damn inning. Yeah, it was just awful. What did you get Yankees team total over at?
Minus 103.
4.5 minus 103. Huh. Alfonso Scott says Hawks. We're gonna have Billy Brisbane joining us to break that down here. So did I see what the line movement was and all that? I don't know if I even did. Did I do all that? I must have, but I feel like I don't have a memory of doing it. Let me just pull it all up here. God, I got to get Pinnacle out of here. So for this one, oh yeah, because it was moved to the under and moved to the Yankees. Yeah, I feel like Kikuchi could get touched here, but I don't know what he's going to give us. That's the problem. I know Herman's going to be good. I don't know what Kikuchi's going to give us, and I don't know what to do with what the Yankees did to Sandoval last night. So I just feel lost here. Nasty Nate says my book knows TJ's gift is going to cash. It's not offered right now. Wow. Yeah. Joe Yerger says no value in this game in either direction, but Yankees pen is doing better right now. Yankees pen looks really good. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to stay off. I'll cheer on spreadsheet. Well, I can't cheer it on too much because I hate the Yankees. Division rival of the Jays, but I want you guys to cash. That's first and foremost. Ron Crawford on the Yankees -1 to +109. Daby Cab on the Yankees team total over 4.5 -103. And this will be very, very interesting. This will be very revealing, I think, as to if the Yanks are smashing lefties and if Kikuchi is really vulnerable. I guess we'll just have to find out.
Oh, we're getting 5 runs, Jimmy.
Yeah, and the bullpen hasn't been lights out. So even if Kikuchi's good, I can see, it's cold there. But all right, let's move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Next up for us, Miami Marlins 10-9, 3-3 on the road at Cleveland Guardians 10-9, 2-4 at home at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's take a look at this here right now. Weather in Cleveland, in the land. What the hell is it? Here we go. Heavy rain, light rain, and light rain. I guess this game is unlikely to go. Let's see if RotoWire thinks it will go or not. Even if it's unlikely to go, we'll at least do our due diligence and just take a look at it. But let's see if RotoWire thinks this is going to go. And they do not. They do not expect this game to go. So, we'll do our due diligence, but I do not think TJ's gift. We're coming up to it in 2 games. It's the over 8 in Oakland, Texas. Over 8 in Oakland, Texas. It's too bad. I want to see Braxton Garrett and get more info on Zach. Please, Zach. Sharpie saying that Minnesota has snow and rain as well. So, we don't need to put too much time into this. The Guardians aren't hitting lefties. The Marlins aren't hitting righties. Plesac coming off a good start, but he's hard to trust. 1.62 whip, 6.92 ERA. But if the Guardians trust him, we probably should too. We say that about the Rays and the Guardians. Braxton Garrett, I really want to know how good he is. He looked good in his last start at home versus Arizona, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. We'll touch on the line history here for Marlins Guardians briefly, just so you guys know what the situation is. But this looks like inclement weather will stop this. There's been no move at all. Opening up -125, still at -125. Total, this opened up at 8. It's dropped to 7.5. And when we look at the cash flow for this one, we have 49% of tickets, 72% of the cash on the Marlins, and 90% of tickets, 95% of cash on the under. Any interest in this game at all, or should we just move past it, Daby?
We can move past it. I will say one thing. When Plesac pitches, Cleveland decides to hit. They put 15 of their 80 runs up this season in those 3 games that he's been starting, which is pretty impressive. But we'll leave it. And I was just going to say, this is Miami's just not scoring. They're one of the worst run-producing offenses of all of baseball. I mean, it's just outstanding. They put up 3 or fewer runs in 13 of their 19 games this season. That's just, I mean, sooner or later that's going to catch up to them. If they don't start scoring runs, they're going to get it's going to get ugly.
This game is not going. It's just
not.
nonstop.
Okay, then let's just drop it.
Yeah, it's not going. It's just nonstop rain, nonstop full rain. There's razor sharp picks. Sixers go 3 down, 13 to go for what? Just $80K. Nothing much. Just $80K.
Dude, what for $80K? What's $80K?
It's got $5K on the Sixers to win it all.
There you go.
$80K. I just want him to be in a healthy situation where he can hedge if he wants. So we got to win 2 rounds if he wants. If he has any interest in that, win 2 rounds at least, or 60K. Says picks from there. Sorry, I thought it was 80. That is a big difference.
You better come. You hit that 60K. You better book a flight down here and come visit. I'll take you out. We're gonna go party. Spend that money.
Yeah, Ray's saying 60K. 60K sounds pretty good. Pretty good to me. All right, let's move on. Next up for us, 7:20 p.m. Eastern. Houston Astros 9-10, 3-3 on the road at the Atlanta Braves, 14-5, 4-3 at home at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. This one's going to be really fun. You have 2 dynamic young pitchers, Hunter Brown and Bryce Elder, that are going to take a lot of work here for us. But we'll start with the weather for these 2 bombers here. It is 10 miles per hour in, 76 Fahrenheit, 10 miles per hour in, but starts dying off, gets down to 6.6 miles per hour in. Let's start with Hunter Brown. Get him rolling here. Hunter Brown this year. Well, first off, let's talk about him. This kid is very good. 5th round pick in the 2019 draft out of Wayne State University by the Houston Astros. In the show, he's 2-0 with a 1.93 ERA, 1.02 whip, and 18 2/3, 17 Ks and 18 2/3, 6 walks. He's not allowed a homer yet. Won at home 8-2 over the Rangers. Went 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. They weren't earned. 5 Ks and 1 walk. He had a cup of coffee in the show last year, 20 1/3, and was awesome. Absolutely awesome. 2 earned runs and 20 1/3, 22 strikeouts and 7 walks. In AAA, he was in Sugarland in the Pacific Coast League, and he was 9-4 with a 2.55 ERA, a 1.09 whip. He had 134 strikeouts in 106 innings. Like he's an excellent young pitcher. And then we have Bryce Elder. Let's move over to Bryce Elder. First off, he is younger. He's 23 years old. He'll be 24 next month. 5th round draft pick by the Braves. And Bryce Elder has also had 17 2/3 innings, and he's been excellent as well. 17 strikeouts, 6 walks. Neither of them have allowed a homer. In his last start was at the Royals, and it wasn't that good. 5 1/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 Ks, 2 walks, and a 9-3 win. He's been in Gwinnett for 1 start here, and he didn't look great, but I don't care that much about that. I certainly do feel like Hunter Brown may be better. In 2022, Elder was up here, and he looked good, 2-4 with 3.17 ERA, 1.24 whip. In Gwinnett, he had a 4.46 whip with 6-5, but with a 4.46 ERA and a 1.19 whip. These are 2 very good pitchers. Very good pitchers. Astros versus righties, they're not hitting them. 247, 688. Braves are hitting righties. 244, 761 OPS. Astros bullpen 3.58 ERA, 1.26 whip. We expect it to improve. And as always, an Anthopoulos bullpen is very good. 2.71 goals against average, 0.99 whip. So let's just look at the line history here for this one, Brown, Elder, and see if this indicates anything for us. Atlanta opening up -113. They're now -110. So there's been a slight move towards Houston. Totals wise, it opened up at 8.5 and is now at 9. So there's been a slight move to the over. And when we take a look at the cash flow, hopefully this will illuminate something for us. We have 49% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on the Astros. And 32% of the tickets, 67% cash on the under, and yet it's gone up a half run. So it's confusing. Alfred watches these Braves every inning this year. He says, I like Elder as a pitcher. Going to ride with the Braves at a good price. Piker says, it seems like we're getting a money line discount to take the Braves here due to Houston being a public side. Good overall team, but Braves are the boss right now. And North Ender says, I lean Houston, but the Braves been dogging me this season. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab. This is an interesting one. 2 young pitchers. Can't wait to hear your analysis of them. Hunter Brown, Bryce Elder, Astros, Braves at Truist Park. Take it away.
Yeah, I love this. I love this Braves team right now. By the way, I know anybody who's paid attention to how I bet. If I win on something, I come back to it in the right situation. I stick with it, like Darvish last year. The Braves team total, I'm already 4-1 betting it this year. It's been great. They're clearly the better offense right now with Houston with the injuries. And you look at Houston, they put up 8 runs and they put up 1 run, then they put up 9, then they put up 1. It's frustrating. And I know we don't bet like trends like that because it's not something you want to look at, but it's been very frustrating watching them. The real reason I think the Braves here is because, like you said, this is going to be a great battle between 2 young starting pitchers. Elder does have a little bit more experience than Brown, but I agree. I do think Brown's probably the better pitcher. But when we look at the offenses, we got to take that into account too. Elder's facing a Houston's offense that's not near as dangerous as Atlanta's. If you ignore those inconsistencies that I'm talking about, maybe if they had Altuve, maybe if they had Brantley, maybe we'd be looking at this different. But they don't, and they're not healthy. And this is just a spot where I think that you're getting good value on the Braves. I lean heavily with the Braves here. Haven't pulled the trigger yet, but yeah, I think you're getting good value with the all around better team. But like I said, Brown is exciting, man. He's exciting. I'm very excited to see where this young pitcher develops too.
Yeah, and then you wonder, is Brown going to be a little uncomfortable on the road? He went into Minnesota 2 starts back and was lights out, absolutely lights out. That was not a big confidence building spot for Elder against the Royals, but let's look at what Elder's done at home this year and last year. Let's do that because Elder does have more experience, as you mentioned. Let's take a look at the splits here this year and last year at home for Bryce Elder. Go to splits first. Here we go. So he's 6 1/3 at home, and he was just lights out. Wow. Let's see what he did in 2022. The market's moving towards the over. Which does surprise me. It surprises me enough for me to probably just let this go. He was awesome at home.
The money's on the under and it's moving to the over, you said?
Yeah.
They think somebody's going to get touched up.
Yeah, they do.
Which kind of worries me because I don't. If Atlanta wins this game, I think it's still kind of a low scoring game. If Houston wins it, I think that they're going to put up some runs. So I don't know. Yeah, this game I'm off.
I'm going to have to be off it too. I really wanted to make a move on it, but
what
it
did you want?
I wanted to find a way to get involved with Hunter Brown, but it doesn't make sense here. I do think the idea that this has gone from 8.5 to 9 just threw me for the loop here. Now the 9's heavily juiced to the under, but it went up to 9 at 10:54 a.m. and then back to 8.5. But even so, this was the initial money was towards the under, and then start game bang to the over. Let's just for due diligence reasons, let's just look at what the line's gone on the first 5 total. Even that's gone up. Yeah, I got to stay off. Sadly, I wanted to be involved in that game. Too bad. I wanted to watch those pitchers play and have money on it. All right, let's move on. We move on to 8:05 p.m. Eastern, and we hit TJ's gift. The gift. No, the public is not on the Astros. You're right. Did someone say that? I must have missed that. But the big bets are on the Houston Astros. It's a split, though. It's 50-50, 51-49 for where the public tickets are.
Gotcha.
But the big bets have come in. But let's keep rolling. Lucha's Fox saying Atlanta coming off a shutout loss. That's fine. It's fine to stay off that game. It's just the fandom in me wanting to have action. Let's move on here to Oakland, Texas. We've been given it the gift from TJ on the over 8. Says the xFIP and xERA indicate more regression for each pitcher, that being JP Sears and John Gray. Says Oakland and Texas bottom third of pens. Texas scoring second most runs per game. Both teams in top 4 of ROI on the over this season. There you go. Ross Pitt says Hunter Brown's Ks are down this year for 9. Atlanta's offense is a lot better than Houston's right now. Take Atlanta. Look, Ross, I will cheer you on, but it certainly is not. But the market isn't moving heavily in one direction either. So you have every opportunity to cash that, and I will cheer for you. Let's go A's, Rangers, Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. JP Sears, last start at home versus the Mets. Now he hits the road. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. There were solo shots, 3 Ks. John Gray, 1-1, 3.21 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. He left his start at the Astros early. Took a line drive off of his elbow. You wonder if that messed up his routine. A's versus righties, 215, 636 OPS. They're weak. Rangers versus lefties, even weaker. 216, 606 OPS. A's bullpen trash. Rangers bullpen's being so good right now. I guess, from his preseason study, he thinks that they're overachieving, that being TJ. Let's take a look at the line history for this one. A's, Rangers. We have the Rangers opening up minus 195. They're now minus 203. So we have an 8-cent move to the Texas Rangers. From a total perspective, we open up at 8. And it's now at 8.5. So it has gone up the half run. Let's take a look at the cash and see if it all correlates. First off, 11% of the tickets are on Oakland and 64% of the cash. Look, we've seen this all year. We saw it all year last year. Obviously, there's syndicates that believe the A's have a ton of value on the road, getting out of the Oakland Coliseum. It's all well and good, but
they're moving to Vegas. It's official.
It's exciting.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have on the total, we have 66% of the tickets and 93% of the cash. That much on the under, and yet this has gone up a half run. Wow. I mean, why would they just be opening up their arms to under money? We were in this situation yesterday. They were opening up giving the Arizona Diamondback backers better and better and better lines all day. And I was like, why? Why would they be doing that? And obviously, it did get tied up at 5 and the Padres 175, but it's just a similar situation here. There's JPZ in the house. Definitely JPZ. We're definitely going to hang when I come down to LA. Hundo, definitely. Too bad.
Are you going to LA?
I'm going to LA in July for All-Star break. Baseball All-Star break. You should join, man. You should come through.
Well, I will. If that's an invite, shit. I was just waiting for it.
Do it. Yeah, come through, man. It's going to be great. So here, this is tricky, man. This is tricky. It seems like everybody's looking at what the A's are doing versus righties and what the Rangers are doing versus lefties. And maybe there's not as much of a focus on, the market wants you to bet the under. So take it away, Daby Cab. Interesting. A's, Rangers.
So, and you touched on it, what the A's are doing against righties. 215 batting average, only a 293 on base percentage. And they're facing a veteran starter here in Gray, who I think has been very impressive this year. I'm not a huge Gray fan years before, but what he's done this year, I've enjoyed watching, and I've watched pretty much all of his innings that he's pitched this year. And I think he's going to make light of this A's lineup here. That bruise, that arm bruise, that's got to hurt like shit. Taking a line drive back off the elbow, I would not enjoy that. I think he'll probably be fine, especially if he's going to be pitching here. But you look also, we're talking about the Rangers pen. Right now, their ERA 2.71 in the pen. I kind of lean Rangers run line here. I don't got a problem with that. But what I really like is the Rangers team total over 4.5. Or shout out to our guy in the chat. Where'd he go? Joe Ramirez right here. He said Rangers first 5 team total over 2.5. I like both of those. I do like the over, but I'm not including Oakland in that. Screw that team. I'd go with the Rangers first 5 team total over or the full game over for the Rangers instead of having to worry about those Oakland bats.
I hear that. I get that. But then you have, a big favorite situation. This hasn't moved to 8.5 at Bet365, even though it's moved to 8.5 at Pinnacle. The team total for the Rangers 4.5. The team total for the A's 3.5 to the under. Wow, I'm gonna move on the gift. Christopher Comentini going to be there too. Beautiful.
What are you betting? The full game over?
Full game over. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I don't got a problem with that. I think there's runs tonight. Gray's going to give up a couple for you at least, probably. I think he'll give up 2.
This is fishy. Okay. All right, I'm going to get this all set up. I just got to press the button here now. Okay, let's roll on. Next up for us, 8:10 p.m. Eastern, we have another big bet by one of our cappers. Wine Time says, I'm in Orange County. Yeah, I need to get everybody's numbers and stuff. I know Jimmy Gomez there as well. Let's get everybody here.
Yeah, I need to know, are you getting like a one place and staying there? Are you going to be jumping around? Like, what's the deal?
I'm just going to stay in my dad's. I'll be in my dad's spot. Makes it a cheap trip. So the whole family's coming.
Badass.
Yeah. And I'm there for a while. Like I'm there for, I think, 9 days. Let's roll here. BJ is white hot. He's at work right now, but he always, even when he's at work, lets us know what his action is going to be. Last night, it was a Warriors, Golden Knights parlay, moneyline parlay. And, it took the Knights a little while to get rolling, and Mark Stone a little while to get rolling. I loved seeing Mark Stone score those goals with his parents watching. That just felt good. Felt right, man. I hate the Knights, and I love Mark Stone. It's a tricky situation. Red Sox Brewers here. Our guy BJ has moved on the Brewers money line and put 2 units on it. We're in American Family Field in Milwaukee. I forgot to say, sorry. There was a question about the roof. The roof is open at Globe Life Field. It's not that warm, and it's blowing slightly out. That was very important. They just announced it 38 minutes ago. It wasn't announced earlier, but
I can always tell you what the weather's what it's like outside too.
What is it like?
A little cloudy, like 66, 68 degrees. Just a cloudy day, but it's going to warm up as it goes on. Let's see what time's first pitch, around 7. Yeah, I think it'll be like 68, 70 degrees. It's not bad outside, man. I could see a ball carrying in this weather.
Yeah, I like the spot. This is just I like the spot. But let's talk about this one. Obviously, I like Freddie Peralta. I like betting on him. He's made me a lot of money. But I got to let that shit go. I like fading Nick Pivetta, but he's very good when he's not up against the American League East. Maybe very good as a stretch, but a lot better. He's not looked very good this year. 16 Ks in 14 innings, but 8 walks, 4.50 ERA, 1.36 whip. He's bad at home. Get him out on the road. He's better at home. He got touched up again. 4 innings, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 9-7 win at home versus the Angels. Red Sox rating just 243, 738 versus righties. Brewers 268, 776. Oh, I love it, JPZ. I love it. Red Sox bullpen 3.61 ERA, 1.24 whip. Brewers bullpen 2.15 ERA, 1.21 whip. Let's start with I guess the roof will be closed in Milwaukee tonight, I imagine. Let me just double check. Oh, yeah, definitely closed. Let's take a look at the line history here and then the cash flow. And I'm telling you, like, I would have already bet this if I felt like it all correlated earlier, but I couldn't do it. And I don't see how I could now, but we'll go over it. Milwaukee opening up minus 160. They're now minus 163. At 8:59 this morning, they got up to 172, and then there was a 13-cent move back to Boston. It's wild. Total-wise, it's opened up at 8.5, and it's now at 9. We go over to the cash flow for this one. We have 59% of tickets, 75% of the cash on Milwaukee. But market moving in the other direction. But at least you have the bigger bets on Milwaukee. Total-wise, you have 64% of the tickets, 78% of cash on the under. Why is it moving towards the over? This one is tricky. Shed some light for us here. Daby Cab, Red Sox Brewers. You're muted, my guy.
Fuck.
Don't worry, you've been great.
Okay. I hate that this is a spot that you would usually bet and you stayed off because I already took the Brewers here first 5. I think it was minus 114. I got to pull it up. But I bet the Brewers first 5 on the run line. Pivetta, gave up 6 runs, 5 hits, and 4 innings with 3 walks. Served up 1 home run there against Los Angeles last Saturday. And Pivetta also has allowed 3 runs or more in 2 of his last 3 starts. But Boston will be without Duvall here. who before being injured, he was leading Boston with 4 home runs, 14 RBIs through the first 8 games. Peralta, I know he's coming off a poor outing, but he had 2 really good starts before that, where he only allowed 1 run, 6 hits through 12 innings pitching. Peralta is a pitcher that I've been looking, like you said, that you like backing. He's somebody who I've been gearing myself towards backing this season, and this is the first spot where I'm backing him. Yeah, like I said, you look at what Boston's been doing. They just haven't been great at the plate. They've lost each of their last 4 interleague games. I don't put too much stock into that, but they've lost 35 of their last 51 games played on the road. This is not a team that travels well. I think it's a good spot for Peralta to get right. I actually kind of like the fact that he struggled last start. So I think he comes out and I think he gets right here. And I got the Brewers first 5 right here.
I get it.
That is a terrible line, Luce. I haven't hit the over in like 85 episodes.
Okay. By the way, I did get in on that over 8 minus 120. Talk sports with JT. Nice to see JT back in business with us. Okay. Look, I would have done the same thing. And I can completely understand why you're making. Was it first 5 minus half minus 114?
Yes.
Look, I completely get it. Look, I had a nice winning year last year, but I've not started off winning this year. So, maybe, and we all saw how hot I got with the last 2 months of the year when everyone said the market was so tight. So maybe this is the system that I use is something that will, get stronger as the year goes on. And maybe I shouldn't have it beginning of the year. And that's all valid. And I'm still trying to become a better baseball capper every day, just like everybody here. So I don't think, if I didn't care about the market, I would be on this immediately. I would have been on this as soon as it came out. Yeah, I can't do it. Luce's Fox with a hard lean to the under. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. That is 8:10 p.m. Eastern, and we've already heard from Sharpie that this game may also not go. Washington Nationals 5-13, 3-4 on the road. Minnesota Twins 11-8, 4-2 at home at Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Molly versus Trevor Williams. Let's go right to the weather and see if they think this game will go.
He said snow, right?
Oh, it's freezing. It's not going.
That
35 down to 33. There's no chance.
There's nothing worse than trying to pitch in cold weather. It's so awful.
And let's see if RotoWire has this in red. They do. Oh yeah, this is not going. This game's not going. For due diligence though, the Nats are hitting 216, 579 OPS versus righties. The Twins just 235, 689. Both bullpens. Well, the Nats bullpen's been better than we expected it. Danielson, I lost on the first periods on both the Avalanche and the Knights, and I was very angry when the game ended up going off exactly as expected. I got some money back, but the Avalanche not scoring that empty netter, that's an over $600 swing. So I was really, really frustrated last night. But I'm glad that people watching the show cashed with the Knights and cashed on the over. That made me happy, but I was very, very frustrated last night. Molly Williams, we don't think this game's going. I don't think it needs too much time, but neither the Nats or the Twins are hitting righties. Bullpens have both been okay. We'll give you the line history, but I don't think we should spend any more time on it than that. The line history for this Williams-Molly spot is Minnesota opening up minus 190. They're now minus 226. From a totals perspective, it's opened up at 8. It's dropped to 7.5. Is there anything you want to say about this spot, or do we just move on?
We can move. Real quickly, though, I would say that, this is a Twins team that I know they've only been averaging 3.7 runs in their last 5 contests, but you got to look at who they were facing pitching-wise. They faced the better part of the Red Sox rotation, the Yankees rotation. Before that, they put up 19 runs in just 3 games. I think this is a good spot for them maybe to break out, but I'm not betting that in cold weather. So, yeah, I'd be off this game anyways.
Yeah, it's I would love to cap. I just enjoy. I think we get better every game we cap altogether. But
yep,
no opportunity there. Let's move on. 9:38 p.m. Eastern. We have 4 games left on the MLB docket, and we have Billy Brisbane joining us for NBA playoffs. Next up for us, 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Kansas City Royals 4-15, 3-3 on the road at the Los Angeles Angels. 9-10, 3-3 at home at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. We'll start with the weather in Anaheim. 77 Fahrenheit, 8.9 miles per hour to right field. Gets down to 6.6. So pretty decent offensive weather there. Take a look at the line history here for this one. Clark versus Ohtani. We have the Angels opening up minus 266. They're now minus 275. I was surprised that there was not a move earlier. Like this came out at minus 266 yesterday at 6 o'clock. It didn't move 3 cents in the Angels' direction until 137. It's been flirting right with that low minus 270s. This is as highest that it's been since it opened at minus 275. So at this point, we have a 9-cent move to the Angels. It's a bullpen day for the Royals. This total opened up at 8.5 as almost a pick. I'm slightly juiced to the over. It's now minus 118 to the over. So we have an 11-cent move to the over and a 9-cent move to the Angels. Wine Time says trying to get out to this Angels game. They're giving out Trout Jedi bobbleheads to the first 20,000 in attendance. Wow. So it'll be jammed then. People love that shit. There's our guy RVD 420 and says now is the time to bet that Devils over 5.5. Devils Rangers over 5.5. Thank you for sharing that with us, RVD. Jonathan saying he's an Angels fan and did take the minus 1.5, but he says, man, our bullpen is so bad. Rocco Rogers looking at Shohei over 7.5 Ks minus 110 and same game parlay Shohei 7 or more Ks and Angels team total over 3.5 and Angels money line. That's at plus 130. Remos laughing because Raptors fired Nurse. Yeah, let's start over. We just start over. We talk about how bad the Rudy, Wuhan Gobert trade was. Shea and 5 first-rounders for Paul George. God. Shea, that's the worst trade maybe in NBA history. Okay, let's go over to the cash flow. I think this will be illuminating here for Royals, Angels. And you guys could have probably guessed this. It's these syndicates believing that there's value in some of these dogs when you get the dog out of their home ballpark, and it's a pitcher's ballpark. And that's what's happening here. You have 25% of tickets, 83% of cash on the Royals. One of the reasons why we stopped tracking or stopped using the cash for NHL was because the dogs were just being bet by syndicates, every day, every single money. Because how many gamblers are you going to see that are going to put minus 270 on the money line? I think there can be somewhat there might be an explanation. 58% of tickets on the over, 53% of cash. We see the market moving to the over. Joe Yerkowitz says Ohtani in the lineup yesterday, awful travel spot, and now starting this game. No way, no how. Stefan Hairston says, do not bet on the Royals. Okay. But our guy, is it Stefan or Steven? Let me know because I don't want to. It's so annoying when somebody's saying your first name wrong. Can you please let me know? He's on the Dodgers run line and Rockies team total again. Taylor Clark opening up the bullpen day. Look, this bullpen is atrocious, but the Angels aren't hitting righties. 223, 667 OPS. Royals just 207, 586 OPS. Shohei's last start was cut short because of a rain delay, but he's been spectacular this year. Taylor Clark, whose opening looks terrible. Mally Mouse says Royals 7-1 to the over last 8 for CAL West. Joe Yerkowitz says Boston to LA with no day off. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab. Royals, Angels.
Look, everyone knows I got no problem getting behind a square bet. I've made a lot of money backing Ohtani. Last year, I've already made money backing him this year. I'm actually 2-0 betting him this year. This isn't a spot where I can bet him. I'd have to go with Rocco on the 7.5 strikeouts at minus 110. But tune into Sharpie for the strikeout props. I don't dig into those near as deep. But I definitely look at his strikeouts. And if there was any kind of value, if I could get like a -1 at even minus 120, I'd bet the Angels. Like I'd go up to I'd probably go minus 125 for a -1 in the first 5, but I'm not laying the lines that they're asking for. I just can't do it. This Royals team is terrible. This is not a good team. They're not producing from either side of the plate. They have a 207 batting average, 266 on base percentage, and a 586 OPS against right-handers. Like I said, I just can't find a way to back Casey. I don't understand the syndicates coming in backing this team. Angels are scoring 4.76 runs per game. That's 11th best in the MLB. Almost choked on my own spit there. That was kind of gross. But I think this is a spot where the Angels can let out a little bit of frustration on a bad KC team, especially if you're going to have people showing up at the stadium. You're going to have a good environment. I think the Angels unload right here, and I almost wanted to lay the 2.5, but their bullpen is so bad. So for me, I want to take the first half. I don't really feel like laying the 1.5, so I'm off this game.
Yeah, I get it. I think Piker puts it perfectly. He says the Angels are the side, but the market's priced us out.
Yeah.
So you either leave it alone or make a bad bet and hope things go to plan. And then Jonathan here, it's his team, but he says, scream, stay away, but this has to be get right offense game for the Angels. It does not have to be get right offense day because it's a bullpen day. And they're going to keep getting different looks throughout the whole game. And I know it's a bad bullpen, but that's not the right setup to get right, I don't think. So, and Nutflush says, Kristen and I will be at this game tonight, and weather is warm. I love that, Nutflush. Enjoy the game, man. Okay, let's move on past this one. Let's move on to 9:40 p.m. Eastern. San Diego Padres. They were good to us yesterday. 10-11, 5-3 on the road. At Arizona Diamondbacks, 11-9, 5-3 at home at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Seth Lugo going up against Zach Gallen. So, look, I do not believe that Seth Lugo is going to be a elite starter. No one does. The Mets didn't want to put him in the rotation. Why would he just come to San Diego and be able to roll? And I believe in Zach Gallen very, very much. And I could not move on this because of the market. And I was like, what's going on? Like, what exactly is it here? Now, the only thing you could look at, even though Zach Gallen was so great in his last start at Miami, he just faced this Padres squad on April 4th, and they lit him up. 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned, 2 homers, 3 Ks, 1 walk. That's it. North Ender says, my dog, Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen was very, very good to us last year. And I wanted to have him involved in my action today. Let's see if things have changed. We know the roof is going to be open. It's going to be open today. It's going to be open tomorrow. It's not going to be open Sunday. 86 Fahrenheit, first pitch, 77 at last pitch, 7.5 miles per hour out to right, slightly out, and then it becomes out to right. So it's decent offensive weather there. Let's take a look at the line history for this spot, Lugo versus Gallen. We have Arizona opening up at minus 106. Now they're even money. So we've got 6 cents of movement towards the Padres and Lugo. Totals-wise, this opened up at 8.5 and it's moved to 9. Maybe you could say that's more based on weather. Christopher Comentini says Zach Gallen velocity is down this year. Johnny Gunn says, I think Seth turns the page in San Diego is going to be really good this year. Coming off a 10-3 win at home versus the Brewers, he went 3 2/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, and 1 walk. He's been good this year, though. 2-0, 2.70 ERA, 1.32 whip, 17 Ks, 16 2/3. There's our guy DX Filer in the house. What up, DX, my man? So let's take a look at the cash flow. So we know there's been a move to the over and a real move. This over 9 is now minus 117. So it's gone up a half run and it's juiced, and there's probably 9.5s out there. Then we have a move to the Padres, which does surprise me. And maybe Johnny Guns is right. Maybe I'm being too hard on Lugo. Let's take a look at the cash for this one. 36% of the tickets and 46% of the cash is on the Diamondbacks. That's a spot I kind of like to be in. So the public is on the Padres, but the market's moved slightly in their direction. I'm surprised they're on the Padres. I would really think that the market would be on, I really, maybe this is now becoming more appealing now. Now I can explain it. Well, look, people are betting the Padres. They're excited about the Padres. Tatis is back. They cashed with them yesterday. They believe the Diamondbacks are playing better than they should be playing. And then you have 77% of tickets, 94% of cash on the over, and it's moved to 9.5 at some spots. There's DC Capper in the house, so it's moved from 8.5 to 9. Let's see what Johnny Gunn says. Could this line be moved based on the fact that people saw change in the offense with Tatis back, even though he went 0 for 5? Could we call this recency bias? I think so. I think that's part of it. Yeah. Luchase Fox says, my gut tells me Padres run away with this game, but the D-backs are better this year, and I don't want to fade. He is off. DC Capper going on the over 8.5. Good thing you got the 8.5 because 9.5 now. Christopher Comentini says back to the well with the LA Angels over. We got Burn One in the house. Thank you, Noli Knows. It is a great hat. Mike M says home team's coming off a loss, 13 and 37 straight up. Wow, 42.9% ROI on that fade. 8 and 42 against the run line, 49.6 ROI on that fade. And that's on Friday. Dave, the weak spot for San Diego. Take it away, Daby Cab. Can you shed some light? This is confusing. Padres, Diamondbacks.
Look, I think one way that and I might get to the window on this. I haven't bet it yet, but I think one way to safely bet this, if you want to bet the Diamondbacks, is just go with the first 5. Just take Gallen. You're just going to back Gallen there because this Diamondbacks bullpen is not good. 25th in baseball right now with a 5.2 ERA. And they clearly Gallen is the advantage for the starting pitching here. And a lot of people in the chat have touched on it. Padres put up 7 yesterday, but nothing out of Machado, nothing out of Tatis, nothing out of Soto. But Tatis is one of those guys like Altuve. His numbers aren't the only thing that happens in that dugout. He bolsters like the attitude of the players. He picks everybody up. He adds a competitive edge to it. So I do think this is going to be an offense that's going to get rolling, but I don't think that they stay rolling right here against Zach Gallen. I think that the first 5 back in the better pitcher here. And Lugo, I think he's been good. He's a very solid pitcher. He had a 3.5 ERA last year, 3.6 the year before that. I don't have it in front of me, but he's about what I expect. I expect him to be about a mid-3 ERA guy, eat some innings up. But yeah, I'd look at Arizona first 5 here.
So would I. The issue is they have a lot of history with Gallen. Bogart's 2 for 3 with a jack. Cronenworth 17 at bats with a jack. Kim 3 for 9. Machado is just hitting 214, but as a jack. Soto 3 for 10 with a jack. Tatis 3 for 9 with 2 jacks. I can't do it.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I can't do it. But Matty Ice believes it also on Arizona first 5 -1/2. I would like to do it. I can't do it. So I'm going to stay off. Ron Crawford said road faves 79-28. Wow, looking very, very strong here. I believe those are $100 bets, right? So that's Jesus, up 27 units.
The chat just made me laugh. I'm sorry. Luce said D-bags making the playoffs. Write it down. And then right after, Noli said, no, they're not. That cracks me up.
Okay, Padres Diamondbacks is a no-go. Taint play of the day is in, though. The taint play of the day is in. It is that game's not. Is that the game we don't think is going? Sorry, is that the Guardian spot? It's confusing me. Oh no. Oh yeah, that game's not going. I don't think. Matty Ice. We don't think that game's going. Marlins, Guardians, but taint play today is in Cleveland. First 5 -1/2. Okay, let's keep rolling here. We're about 6 minutes from NBA, but if it takes a little bit longer, it's all good. We have 2 games left here to break down. Next up for us, 10:10 p.m. Eastern, St. Louis. This is another spot that I wanted to bet immediately. And then the market confused me. 10:10 p.m. Eastern, St. Louis Cardinals 8-11, 3-3 on the road. Seattle Mariners 8-11, 5-8 home at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Let's go over to the weather here. It doesn't. Oh no, yeah, it doesn't matter, right? It's going to be proof closed. So let's go over to the line history for this one. St. Louis, Seattle. This would be some fun Friday night, late night action. We have Seattle opening up -128, and there's been a 12-cent move to Steven Matz and the St. Louis Cardinals. I fade Steven Matz in game 1. I believe his second start happened on a weekend when I didn't have action, and he's been good the last 2 starts. And we have a big market move towards the Cardinals, which is shocking. You have Kirby at home. Totals wise, it's opened up at 8, -115 to the over. It's now just -108 to the over. So there's a move to the under, expecting Matz to pitch well here. And look at Matty Ice says, my next favorite play on the board is Oakland first 5 +0.5 and full game +170. Says, love Oakland today. Well, I'll copy and paste that for sure. But let's see what the cash says on this Cardinals spot here. We have 86% of the tickets and 94% of the cash on the Seattle Mariners. So this is the most extreme that we've seen. This was the fact that the spreadsheet play today was on the Padres and the market was moving towards the Padres and so much money was on the Diamondbacks. I was like, well, I've got to bet the Padres. I have to bet the Padres. How do we handle this? This is nuts. 86% of tickets and 92% of the cash on the Seattle Mariners, and we have a 12-cent move away from them. Total wise, 47% of tickets, 91% of cash on the over. So Brian Watson says Bruins are now minus 140 at Bet365. So Bergeron must have just been announced out. Noli says bet the under. That's how. Bet the under. And, all these big bets on the over. And it's the same deal, but not as drastic. With a 6-cent move to the under and 91% cash on the over. Mike M says DK opened at minus 105 and a 25-cent move to them. Mike M, so you have a 25-cent move to the Mariners? I'd love to hear what that is because
I think Noli might be onto something with that under because it's like I like the Mariners here just because you've got the obvious pitching advantage. I was looking at the Mariners in the first 5, but this team is just horrible at the plate. And if there's ever a team for somebody like Mats to get right against, it would be Seattle here. So I kind of like the under because I lean Seattle first 5, but I think that under might be a pretty damn good bet right here.
Well, no, it's no great under weather. The roof's going to be closed. Steven Matz, 0-2, 6.48 ERA, 1.80 WHIP. Daniel Sun says Kirby's being ass. Steven Matz looked good last, and Bergeron is out. So Bergeron is out and Swayman.
Wow. Kirby had a bad start against LA. I mean, he only went 4 innings and gave up 4 earned runs, but since then he's had 2 quality starts. He had a quality start at Cleveland, 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run, 5 hits, a quality start against Colorado, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. So, I mean, he hasn't been great, but his last 2 starts have been better.
Yeah, it's funny with the Padres game, I felt like a lot correlated with the idea that the Padres were very, very live. Here, I find it more difficult, but that was a nice performance last out at home versus the Pirates. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 5 walks was okay. Kirby, you're right. That last start, at home versus Rockies was nice. 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, no walks. Cards rating 264, 761 OPS versus righties. I have Mariners numbers versus righties. I don't know why. I should have them versus lefties. I'm going to pull it up. While I'm doing that, though, both bullpens have been good. Take it away. I'm very interested to hear what you're doing. Cardinals, Mariners.
So I am going to stay away from this game because, like I said, the Mariners have just they've been struggling. And I think Kirby, like I just said, he's had 2 good starts. But one thing Seattle's been doing is hitting the ball. They got a 274 average as a team. Their on-base percentage of 354. And I think this could be a spot where they might get to Kirby. So then we look in the bullpens. Mariners bullpen's posting a 3.42 ERA right now at 3.77 FIP on the season. So they've been above average. This is one of the toughest games on the board today, especially after you get into the market and talk about it. I leaned Seattle first 5 here with Kirby. But I'm not going to back him. I at the end of the day, I think the under is a better bet. What Noli threw out there.
Huh? Yeah, let me just see if I can find a little more here. What is I didn't mean to have the Mariners versus righties stat up there. I don't know what was wrong with me. Mariners. Oh Jesus! All right, let's go Mariners versus lefties here.
When you look, Kirby did earn his first win of the season last Saturday. That's always good. Always good for a pitcher to, once he gets that first win, he threw 6.1 innings, 2 gave up 2 runs against the Rockies, like I talked about. That's always something good to come off of. So I think that Kirby could come off a little bit of momentum there. But like I said, this is a prolific St. Louis offense that worries me a little bit.
Yeah, and Mariners are doing nothing against lefties. I mean, it's ugly. They're 194 with a 613 OPS. So maybe Mats can get through it. And then which bullpen do you trust? Joey Rivers says Seattle just got swept. They're now 5-8 at home. I wonder if I can get there. Let me just go to matchups quickly.
I think Seattle way overplayed their talent last year. That little run that they had of wins when they got on everybody's radar, I think that was an anomaly. I don't think this is that good of a baseball team from top to bottom.
Yeah, it's just the pitching staff I do like. St. Louis never seen Kirby before, and Matt says, good numbers against. Not really against some of these guys get to him, but wow, it's just screaming, take the cards. Ugh. Screaming, take the cards. Okay. I love that, DC Capper. I'm on that with you. And that was TJ's second favorite spot on the board. Okay. I think that the lack of success for Seattle against lefties, the fact that you're getting a better baseball team at this point in the year, even though they're just 8-11, you're going up against a Mariners team that's scuffling at home. Okay. I guess I've talked myself into it. I just want to look at this line history one more time here for this one. So we have, just before I decide that I will be making the move on the Cardinals. So we have Cards opening up at plus 118. They're now plus 108. And then we have in the cash side of things, we have 86% of tickets and 92% cash on the Mariners. That's just crazy. Okay, I'll move on the cards here. St. Louis Cardinals for me. Ugh, okay, I don't like it, but I think it's just a must bet. All right, let's move on to the final game on the board. New York Mets 13-7, 9-5 on the road. San Francisco Giants 6-12, 2-5 at home. Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. We have Joey Lucchesi back in business. We have not seen him in the majors since 2021. Underwent Tommy John surgery. When he first came up for the Mets, I liked him. And then he started getting touched. And then he went on the shelf. He's made 3 starts at AAA and looked very good. 2.30 ERA, 1.18 whip, 15 Ks and 15 2/3. Going up against DeSclafani, who's been very good at home. Now, he's been very good anywhere this year, but last year he was so good. So good at home. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. We'll start with the weather at Oracle. Then we're going to NBA next. Daby Cab, being very enjoyable capping the card with you today, opening up your account here on Betting with the Bag. 60 Fahrenheit, 10.5 miles per hour to right center, down to 57. So it's a little warmer than it has been in Oakland. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Lucchesi versus DeSclafani. And we have, here we go, we have 4-cent move to the Mets. They opened up plus 106. They're now plus 102. I guess I had that wrong. I was thinking about when he came up with the Padres, and I was saying Mets. My part when Lucchesi came up with the Padres and then went over to the Mets. Okay. So total wise, this opened up at 9 and has dropped 8.5. That makes sense to me because the Giants can't hit lefties. 211, 593 OPS, and the Mets are okay against righties at this point. 231, 729. But I think we can expect DeSclafani to pitch very well here. Mets have a big bullpen advantage at this point in the season. Take it away for us here, Mets, Giants, Daby Cab.
Yeah, so you said it, how they struggle a little bit. San Francisco, on the season has better power production, but they have struggled to produce runs in their last 5 games, averaging 3.71 runs per game. New York is slightly better than that number over the last 5, 3.91. But you can kind of see where that comes from because they were facing the Dodgers in Los Angeles for 3 of those games. And they still scored 13 runs. So I think right now, New York is, it's clear that they're hot. They're on a roll right now. They're the better team, top to bottom, I think. I think the pitching advantage goes to the Giants here as a starting pitcher. So I would look full game with the Mets on this one. I haven't bet this one either, but like I said, New York enters this rolling. And San Francisco just finally ended their 4-game losing streak. And they got an amazing performance out of their bullpen. But they've just been too mediocre for me here on the season. And I think New York has a significant advantage in the lineup here. So I like New York full game, not in the first 5, but I'm not betting it.
This is kind of tricky. The first 5 opened up at 4.5, and it went up to 5. And then this at Pinnacle, and then the full game opened up at 9 minus 117 to the under, and it keeps slipping back to 8.5 to the over. And so it really hasn't moved that much. The only reason why I bring this up is because there's a lot of money on this over. 65% of tickets, 85% of cash on the over. Market's not moving in that direction. Maybe because it's warm. Anoli Knows says they faced some pretty good lefties so far. This is not the same. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm surprised that this isn't a spot. Like, I think they should have put this total at 4.5 for first 5. And Rem Most North End is saying there's still a ton of 9s. I guess I'm going to have to stay off of this spot. So that's what I will. That's what I will do. Okay. All right. I'm off. Unfortunately, I wish I was on, but I'm going to have to stay off of this spot. Not Flush Allen says heavy lean on the Giants, but waiting for the lineup. But Giants are going to be in play tonight.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going to have to stay off of that spot. North Ender said bet online open is 8.5 and it's 9 now. Okay, let's review all action here in MLB before we get into the NBA card with Billy Brisbane. I moved on the first 5 over 5 in LA, Chicago. Cab is on the Dodgers first 5 minus a half, minus 115. That game pops off in an hour and 12 minutes. I doubled up on the Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates under first 5 under 4.5, full game under 8.5. White Sox, Rays, we stayed off as we did with Rockies, Phillies. I'm going to decide what to do with the Tigers. I think it'll be very early. I'm going to decide what to do with them. Then Cabs on the Yankees, team total over 4.5. Spreadsheet play today is the Yankees -1 at plus 109. Taint play today's Cleveland first 5 minus a half, but we don't think that game is going to play. Astros Braves, we are off. I did join TJ on the gift, the over 8. He got it at minus 115. I got it at minus 120. Cabs on the Brewers first 5 minus a half, and our guy BJ is putting a K down on the Brewers money line. Nats, Minnesota Twins off. Royals, Angels, we are off. Padres, Diamondbacks off. And I'm adding the Cardinals. That would be the only addition that I've yet to bet. The others I already got in. Mets, Giants, we have not moved. Daby Cab, excellent work. We're all excited to see you succeed here on the show. We'll be tracking it and celebrating it when you do succeed, which we know that you will. Thank you for taking the time to work with us. Daby Cab will be here every second Friday. And Daby Cab, you have a big live bet stream tonight with a really, really exciting game. Live bet stream starts at 8 p.m. And look at that. We have Jose Bouquet back in business. Thank you. Jose's driven down to the studio. Cavaliers, Knicks, the showcase focus game for tonight. That's going to be really, really fun.
And I just want to say this for anybody in the chat that hasn't got to tune in. Shout out to my guy Razor because he usually has to open it because I get there late after my pitching lessons. But man, we've been cashing on fucking everything: horses, baseball, basketball. I mean anything, NHL, and. Like we have fun. Like, yeah, we take shots and that's all good. I enjoy it. But what we do is we make money. My account, like my account has loved these Fridays. And I know that anybody that comes in there, their account will love it too. So tune in and come in there with us. And then Saturday morning, I'll be with Jose breaking down the MLB card.
Oh, I love it. That's right here, Jonathan. The Friday night live stream is right here on Pub Sports Radio, starring Razor Sharp Picks and Dabra Cadabra. Great stuff, Daby. We will see you here in 2 weeks. And you have a very busy 24 hours here on Pub. So go out there and get that cash. And thank you for running with us, my friend. Any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
Oh, man, you guys in the chat, you make this shit fun, man. Even if we disagree on something, that's the whole point so that we can learn, get better, and grow. So shout out to you guys, man. Raw Dog, a.k.a. 2 times, or A.K. 2 times. Christopher Comentini, Eric Jones, man. I want to go through and say everyone, but fucking love you guys, man. Shout out to all y'all.
I love it. There he is, Dabra Cadabra. Your next guest joined us yesterday, and he gave us 3 bets, and they didn't just cash. They were complete no sweats. 18.5 points and rebounds for Kevon Looney. He had 20 rebounds. Forget the points. Who needs points? He gave us the Warriors first quarter, first half. He's been very, very good. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play today, is on the Knicks, the money line. Thank you for sharing that with us here. I have made 2 bets already on this card. And I wish I had a first quarter, first half. I did first quarter the Warriors, so thank you for that. But let's bring him on from South Jersey. I don't have his record up. He is now replacing the guy that we usually have on Fridays, so thank you for doing that. But I know that you are now even healthier in the black, and it is now neck and neck between you and Durrell for the best NBA record here of our experts. Please welcome from South Jersey, Billy Brisbane to the show. Brizzy, how are you, my man?
Doing good, man. A little bit tired. Had one FC championship. Fight started off at 8 o'clock this morning. I woke up at 6. Man, it's been a long day so far, but we take a haul in the calls for the NBA card today. Not as lovely as yesterday's card, but there's still some value spots on the card today. And we got to get the ball rolling into the weekend. There's a lot of sports, so we got to be quick and precise with this one.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming in on last minute, and also thank you for your excellence yesterday and this season. Let's get right to work here. And I'm nervous. I'm nervous about telling you my action here in the first game because I've doubled up. 7 p.m. Eastern, East, first round, game 3. Boston leading the series 2-0. Now, you'll be able to live bet this with the boys tonight. You'll be able to live bet this right away, but it is the Knicks Cavs that is the main showcase game for the squad. State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. They've been playing at a very fast pace in the series thus far. 102.75 possessions a game. Hawks were 6th this year in the league at 101.56, so they're playing faster than that. Celtics were 20th at 99.15 possessions a game. We have Boston opening up at -5, and they moved to 5.5 at 9:30 this morning. So it's a half-point move towards the Celtics. From a total perspective, this opened up at 227.5, and I got on when it was at 229 at Pinnacle, and it was 228.5 at Bet365. Subsequently, it went down to 228 this morning, and I was nervous, but it's back at 228.5 at a pick'em. So it makes me feel a little better. So it's up a point from the Pinnacle opener. Let's pull up the cash flow for this one. Head over to the hard court, over to NBA. And here we go. We have 78% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the Boston Celtics. Wow. Then we have 60% of the tickets and 63% of the cash on the over. I Get Money says it is a bad matchup, but that doesn't mean the Hawks can't cover. Piker says Celtics didn't dominate because of the location or the spot. This is just a bad matchup for Atlanta. I don't think anything changes regardless of where you play it. Ron Crawford says if the Hawks get one, it's tonight. Okay. Celtics won game 1, 112.99. Game 2, 119.106. Both games have gone under. Trae Young needs to be better. The fact that Derek White's the best point guard on the floor is embarrassing for him. Trae Young has gone 3 of 13 from 3 in 2 games. He's gone 4 of 14 from the field.
Damn, it's that bad?
It's that bad. Last game, he turned the ball over 5 times as well. Went 2 of 8 from 3. And he just looks awful. Derek White has scored 50 points in 2 games. Derek White is outscoring and outplaying Trae Young. Only Tatum has more points than Derek White. 4 more points.
Malcolm Brogdon looked really good last game. I had a player prop on him, man. He was hooping out there, man.
Hawks averaged 118.7 points per game. They've scored an average of 102.5 in this series. 16.2 points less per game than average. They shot 40.7% from the field, and it's not enough. Great to see you, Jacqueline. Thank you for joining us. I moved on the over 228.5, and I also moved on the Hawks team total over 111.5.
I don't blame you.
That makes you feel better. Brizzy, coming off board sweepage yesterday. Take it away, Celtics Hawks.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday. I've been really just identifying one game, but today I got a little something on each one of these games. But the Celtics have been hot, though, 8-2 straight up in ATS in their last 10 games, and 3 straight wins and covers versus Atlanta. I think so far it looks like Boston's going to sweep Atlanta. I don't think there's any value in them tonight, but Atlanta's only 1-4 ATS last 5 home games, 0-4 ATS last 4 games overall. I mean, all the Raptors are going to be there like little baby and stuff like that sitting courtside, but I don't think that's really going to help this Hawks team really get a win tonight. This line feels a little bit nerfed, though. We talked about yesterday there was line value on the Sixers at -4.5, and that game was literally right on the button. We said we would line that at 5 or 5.5, and that's exactly where it finished. So I think this game is exactly the same exact type of cap, but I kind of want to stay off of this one. I could kind of see the Celtics getting hot early, but Atlanta covering late. But my favorite player prop of the day is in this game, Ikiki Okongwu, over 5.5 rebounds, -155. One switch that makes sense for the Hawks tonight that you're going to see is Ikiki Okongwu playing more minutes or splitting the center minutes with Clint Capella. Capella's minutes have gone down, especially in game 2. He only played 22 minutes with 4 points and 7 rebounds. Okongwu has had at least 5 rebounds in 8 straight games, averaging 8 rebounds in 5 games versus Boston this year. With at least 8 rebounds in all but 1 game, Quinn Snyder has taken a like to Ikiki Okongwu, which understandably so. He has 24 offensive rebounds in 5 games versus Boston this year. Even though Atlanta's struggling to score, they have 19 offensive rebounds, and they need the second chance opportunities and the good old playoff theory that role players step up in home games. I think Ikiki Okongwu is going to be the star player of this game for the Hawks.
And what was the number you got? How many boards?
5.5 rebounds at -155. That number's moving too.
Over 5.5 boards at -155. If that was to be at 6.5 or the -110,
I would not bet it.
You would not bet.
I would bet it up to 8. It's safe to bet up to 8. But I mean, dude, we got Bellator tonight, MLB, NHL, NBA playoffs, fucking overnight shit, like BKFC. Like, there's no reason to be gambling on a bunch of different stuff. If I'm betting on something today, it's because I think it's going to win.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I like it. All right. Brizzy is on Okongwu over 5.5 boards at -155. Let's move on. And I've moved on 2 spots, over 228.5 and the team total over 111.5 for the Hawks. Draft.
Yeah, I kind of like it because we talked about yesterday, if the Nets were going to win that game, the team total over would hit. And the Nets didn't win that game, and the team total didn't hit. So I feel like if Atlanta's going to compete and be close in this game, the team total is more than likely going to hit, regardless of if they cover the spread or not.
Yeah, I did not want that. That was my thinking as well. I wasn't confident enough on taking the Hawks at this number. So, I get it. And by the way, Dana Delp saw that at DraftKings at -150. So maybe if you feel like that juice is too much for a single bet, depending on your bankroll, you can tie it in as a parlay piece.
Tell me you didn't just say that. Says I like the juicy prop at 5.5 rebounds, but I took a shot at the double plus 11. I would not take a shot at the double plus 1100. I think you bet it. I think you'd ladder his rebound prop up to 8 because we saw last night we were talking about the Kevin Looney prop at 18.5 points and rebounds, and we said maybe if you're afraid the juice play the double prop. Honestly, who cares? You could have laddered the shit up damn near to +20 and you could have cashed all plus money tickets. Sometimes it's really just the rebounds on these guys. A lot of these centers are just grabbing the offensive rebound and passing it to the guards that are going to shoot the ball. And I don't think Okongwu is going to be shooting a lot of layups and stuff like that unless it's a second chance opportunity. So I feel like we're really getting into we're gambling at that point. I'd rather be investing than gambling.
I like it, Brizzy. We all like it, man. We all like what you're doing here on Pub. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, East first round, Game 3. Cavaliers, New York Knicks, our showcase game tonight on our NBA Live bet stream starring Daby Cab and Razor Sharp Picks. Cavaliers at Madison Square Garden. This pace has been very slow, 93.75 possessions a game. Cavs had the slowest pace in the entire league this year. 96.27 possessions a game. And the Knicks were 26th. I mean, they were right there at 97.75 possessions a game. Now you have everything on the line. We all knew what series was going to be the most interesting, and it's this one. Well, I guess the Kings Warriors is, okay, well, it's debatable, but we knew this was going to be a fun one. All right, let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Cavs, Knicks, at MSG. Knicks opened up at -2. They got down to 1.5. Now, look, I saw the -2 and I was like, really? Really, it threw me for a loop. What are you saying, that Hart's not 100%? What Randall's not 100%? I mean, what, this threw me for a loop. Then it went down to 1.5, and I was like, oh god. Now it's back at 2. It just moved back to 2 at 11:35 this morning, so just under 2 hours ago. From a total perspective, this opened up at 211. As a pick 'em, there's been a 1 cent move to the under. 1 cent move to the under. Let's go over. There's our guy, Lil Domo, in the house. He's on Nick's first half money line. Says the Garden gonna be rocking. Shout out to our guy, Lil Domo. Take a look at the cash here. On the spread, 79% of the tickets and 85% of the cash are on the Knicks. Ugh, God, that's crazy. With this market, I don't know how anyone could have confidence in that spot. Total wise, 55% of the tickets, 79% of cash is on the under. If you go to the money line, it's pretty much similar. 48% of tickets, 70% of cash on the Knicks. Knicks won game 1 in Cleveland, 101-97 before losing game 2, 107-90. Score, it was worse than that. They got beaten badly. Spider scored 38 points in the loss, 17 points, 13 assists in the win. He's been very good against the Knicks this year, but he struggled at MSG. And we see some players do that. They just try too hard at Madison Square Garden. They care too much about being on that floor. He averaged 31.8 points in 4 games against the Knicks this season, but when he was at MSG, he averaged 23.5, and he shot 37%, and they lost both those games. Darius Garland was excellent, 32 points in game 2. And RJ Barrett, the guy just goes missing. He just so often goes missing, and he's such an X factor for the Knicks. And then Emmanuel Quickly, 4 of 13. He's got to change that. He's got to step up, and maybe this is the exact spot to do it. Take it away for us, Brizzy. We are all very interested in your take. Cavaliers, New York Knicks. Floor is yours.
Yeah, this feels like the best bet of the card today. The Knicks are the second best team in the association in first quarter at home. They're 25-15-1 first quarter ATS this season, while the Cavs are 19-21-1 ATS on the road in the first quarter. Full game wise, I think it can go either way. I mean, the Cavs are pretty good recent form, 13-6 straight up in their last 19 games, but they're only 1-4 ATS in their last 5 games in New York, while New York is 6-3 straight up in their last 9 and 10-5 ATS in their last 15 games playing as a home favorite. It's been over a decade since the Knicks have gotten out of the first round of the playoffs. I think the Garden's going to be on fire tonight, and I think the Knicks come out hot and early here. Best bet of the card today, Knicks first quarter, money line, -125.
Let's lock that in for you, Brizzy. Did you tweet this out yet, or can I line shop?
You can line shop. I haven't tweeted anything out.
All right, let's get it for you. We did find 5 cents better on the Kongu prop. So Knicks first quarter money line, and you're in some good company.
What book had the best Kongu prop? Because I'm probably gonna have to load up on that book and play it.
God, I think I forget who said it, but let me just see if I can grab it really quickly. Was it DraftKings? Dana got it for DraftKings.
Fucking DraftKings.
All right. Knicks first quarter, the best money line we can get you is -123.
Yeah, that's fine. A lot of people in the chat asked the Knicks first half. I don't mind it, but this spot reminds me of the Warriors spot last night where we just didn't get cute. We just played the first quarter. In the first half, we got a little bit greedy there at the first half. But, I mean, both of the bets correlate with each other. If they win the first quarter, more than likely they're going to be up going into halftime. But I just want to bet the Knicks first quarter here, specifically in this spot. This is a spot case scenario. And one team is the second best team in the association in the first quarter. Another one is middle of the pack, damn near lower. So, I mean, I'm back in the 25-15-1 ATS record tonight.
I get it. I get it. I'd be curious to see what's going on with the first quarter money line. We know that.
Yeah, I like the money line. Troy Terrence says first half hit in the Warriors game. I thought the first half in the Warriors game was stronger than the first quarter just because we didn't have a confirmation of what the starting lineup was going to be, and B, what the rotational minutes are going to look like without Draymond Green in there. So it was kind of like a gamble a little bit of like we needed to see a little bit more time. But in this spot specifically, we already know what the lineups and the rotations are going to be for this game. So that's the reason why I lean towards more of the Knicks in the first quarter, not the first half. Because if you start getting into the halves, then you start talking about star players getting benched in the beginning of the second quarter and then subbing in at the 8-minute mark. And then it starts getting weird and tricky and stuff like that. I rather know that with my bet, I have 10 to 12 minutes of Julius Randle playing with Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett and quickly subbing in, getting those quick couple shots in at the end of the first quarter. That's really more of where I want to cap it at rather than have to be screaming at the television and looking at my phone every 5 seconds to wait for Julius Randle to sub back in.
I get it. Brizzy's moving on the Knicks first quarter at -123. Ron Crawford, NBA spreadsheet play today's the Knicks money line. And I've got my futures on the line, so I will be cheering that on. DJ Big Boss in the house. He just checked in Las Vegas. Our man DJ in Vegas. Have fun, DJ. Enjoy it, my man. And Troy Torrance says, I bet the Knicks on the series because of their depth. That's why he wants the half. He says now he may double up on the first quarter. All right. Let's move on to the final game on our NBA card. Another spot that will be live bet on our big show tonight. 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Denver Nuggets 53-29, 19-22 on the road. Minnesota Timberwolves 42-40, 22-19 at home. We're at Target Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Another series that's playing at a slow pace, just a little bit faster than the Cavs Knicks. This one's playing at 94.25 possessions a game. Timberwolves are the 7th fastest team in the league, but this is playing at the Nuggets pace. Nuggets are the 24th fastest at 98.74 possessions a game, and they are dictating the pace. They were the home team and the better team. And the home team and the better team almost always dictates the pace. Mitchell Landers, I am sticking with the Bruins today, but it's a very public spot. You know, Sharps are on Florida. Market's moving towards them with Bergeron and Swayman out. Part of my bet was that Bergeron, I thought, could play or, you know.
I wouldn't be that scared of the public today for like a specific NHL spot. There's so many different bets on the card and games that are going off today and stuff like that I feel like this is one of those days where like if you see a public spot, it doesn't mean as much value as on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday where we only have like 10 or 15 games.
That's interesting.
They might let a couple, you know what I'm saying, Jim? I mean, how much has Vegas ate the last couple of days? They might let a couple bets slide.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting take for sure, man. Well, this one is interesting. Minnesota opening up at +2.5, and now just +2. Clearly a line that's asking for Nuggets cash. That's wild. Total wise, it's opened up at 223. It's dropped down to 221.5. So a move towards the Wolves and a move towards the under. 38% of the tickets and 69% of the cash is on the Minnesota Timberwolves. On the money line, it's different. 65% of the tickets, 70% of the cash is on the Nuggets. It's interesting. But the spread's different. And then on the total, 50% of the tickets and 90% of the cash is on the over. 90 on the over. Lingo Wick says, will I be betting horses on the stream tonight? I will not be. I got some family stuff I got to take care of, but the boys will be. The boys will be hammering horses for sure. The next big horse show for me is Friday of the Kentucky Oaks, and then, of course, Saturday of the Derby. Mike M has a Nuggets Celtics moneyline parlay. Nuggets won game 1, 109.80 before winning game 2, 122, 113.
Don't do it, Mike.
It looked like they, had it in the bag, but Wolves put up 40 in the third quarter and turned it into a game. Jamal Murray, he's missed playoff basketball, clearly. God, he looks good. 32
Dude,
points
he looks so fucking good, man. I played his over 2.5 3-pointers, and that shit was cashing by like the end of the first quarter. Jamal Murray is damn near a top 10 player in the NBA playoffs when he's playing in the playoffs healthy. And, man, if he plays that good, this team is going to the Western Conference Finals.
Torrey Coker is on the Minnesota Timberwolves money line for $500. My concern isn't really Jamal Murray. It's more is how healthy is Jokic. He sure looked good last game, so maybe he's nothing to worry about. Maybe there's nothing to worry about.
Oh, he was sitting on the sidelines with his juice and cookies, and he was fine.
Dana Delp, there will be a full Kentucky Derby day of betting on Saturday and a full Kentucky Oaks day of betting on Friday, but we are still figuring out whether we'll do a preliminary Derby show because it takes a ton of time to put that together. And we're still discussing that right now. Tori Coker says Denver sucks on the road. He's moving hard on the Wolves money line. So Jamal Murray right now has played 35 career postseason games. And for 5 of them, he's gone for 40 plus. 410 regular season games, and he's had 4 40 plus games. So he just turns it on in the playoffs. Jalen says, I think the Wolves can get this. Timberwolves have never won a series after going down 0-2. In those game 3s, they've had 5 situations where they've been down 0-2. In 3 of them, they have won game 3. 3 of them, they've won game 3. Edwards coming off 41 points. They need him badly. When he steps up, things are different. But Towns, just not stepping up in big games, hitting 29.6% from the field, 25% from 3. Now you can say it's because Jokic is there, making it hard for him. And that's fair if you say that. But, this guy was shooting 44.1% from 3 since, in the last 6 games of the regular season and 2 games of the in-play tournament. Now that's down to 25%, and he's only taking 12 shots. So take it away for us here, Billy Brisbane. Final game on the NBA card. Final game on our show, Nuggets, Timberwolves.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy bet for me. I mean, we're going back to the same exact trend that cashed for us last night. Since 2007, teams were down 0-2, returning for game 3 or 79, 47, and 9 ATS in the first half, covering at 62.6%. But since 2008, that number has dropped a little bit, though, I will say. 15, and 2, hovering around that 500 mark. But Denver has a minus 1.9 NBA rating in the road first halves and ranked 22nd in the NBA at minus 6.5 net rating in the second quarter on the road. And while this isn't an A-plus play for me today, it's still a B-minus play, and it will make the card tonight. I feel comfortable in this situational spot scenario. I like the Timberwolves plus a half, first half, minus 130.
Wolves plus a half, and you haven't tweeted this out, so I will line shop for this one. So Wolves first half. Let's see here. Spread plus a half. So we can get you Wolves. Plus a half. There you go. So minus 125. I'd like to see what Pinnacle's offering. Maybe I can get a little bit better with Penny. I'm going to head over there.
I personally feel like this is a pros versus Joes type of game. When you look at the money that's coming in right now, it's 70% of the money coming in on the Nuggets, but the line's moving towards the Minnesota Timberwolves. That means the Sharps are slamming the Timberwolves and the public's slamming the Nuggets, and the Sharps have been getting a little bit smacked. A couple unlucky bounces went their way last night. So I think they bounced back a little bit here in the last game of the night, and I definitely don't mind the Timberwolves full game money line, but I am a little bit nervous of yelling at the TV screen for fucking 2.5 hours, yelling at the Timberwolves basketball game. I might just want to get in, get out first half. And that's a trend that, you can't ignore that trend. We talked about it yesterday on the Warriors game about how that was the best bet in the card, first quarter, first half. And the first half was a little bit better than the first quarter because of that trend. And it's the same exact spot here for the Timberwolves. I didn't really like that trend too much for the Atlanta game, but I think it's viable here in this spot. I feel like Vegas is telling you everything you need to know. Timberwolves are probably going to win this game.
That's certainly what it feels like market-wise. Again, you just have to have the balls to move on it. I love it. Jeffrey Blue moving to the new house. Follow today. I love it, man. Let's get it. There's Millsy in the house. So for those of you who don't know, Big Show Picks, Millsy and our guy Brizzy have a new podcast. Can you talk about the podcast and let us know if there is anything in Bellator that you're moving on tonight?
Yeah, the podcast, we went live over I think it's on Spotify, podcast, addict.com. And we had the man, the myth, the legend himself, the owner of the company, Jeff Slaughter, on this podcast episode. So make sure you guys tune in. I don't want to give too much away because, Bellator pops off at 7 or 8 o'clock p.m. tonight. So you got to stay tuned. Make sure you follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills, Instagram, Billy Brizz DFS. I actually got access to BetMGM, so we don't have to bet bullshit-ass money lines anymore for Bellator at fucking minus 400s and 500s. We can actually bet props. So I want to dig a little bit deeper into this fight card and look at a couple of the weigh-ins things, because the weigh-ins for the Saturday night card, it's back-to-back cards for Bellator. Friday night and Saturday night. So I got to watch the weigh-ins for both of these things and make sure everything's checking out all right. For anybody that has a bet on Ray Borg and Horiguchi, Ray Borg missed weight this morning and will be taken off the co-main event for Saturday's card.
Oh, wow. Wow. Big news there. Big news. Big Show Picks has put the Spotify link to the episode with Slaughter on it, and it's great, man. You guys work so well together, all of you guys. So please listen and support our new podcast. Is that going to be weekly?
Yes, very weekly. We didn't do it the 1 week we didn't have USC, but I think it's going to be weekly because you guys are down in San Antonio at that time. But it's a nice little podcast. It's not your typical average podcast where everybody goes fight by fight by fight. We cut through the bullshit and we talk about the wins, the losses, and who's going to be the winners for the next weekend. It's more of a podcast talking about the winners for the upcoming week rather than breaking it down in a very boring fight by fight way.
I love it. I love it. Let's review Brizzy's action. He's on the Wolves first half plus a half at -125. He's on the Knicks first quarter at -123. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is the Knicks money line. Gerald Jones says Knicks Cavs under is the best bet on in the NBA. He has Celtics on his card. And remember, our live bet stream tonight. And then Brizzy's on Okongwu over 5.5 rebounds -150. And I am on Boston Atlanta over 228.5 and the Hawks team total over 111.5. Brizzy, spectacular work, my friend. Thank you for coming in last second. Big favor to us, and everybody loves your content. You have a big weekend ahead. Talk to us about the Saturday night live stream. When does it start?
Yeah, Saturday night live stream is 4:00 p.m. tomorrow. It's going to be UFC Vegas 71. We're back in the UFC Apex for tomorrow's event. And of course, the main attraction of the weekend is tomorrow night. Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta fucking Davis, the fucking boxing fight of the goddamn year. And we're going to make some good cash on that fight. I'll give out a free play over 7.5 rounds for the boxing fight. I think that's going to the scorecards.
Over 7.5 rounds for the big fight tomorrow. We have a great breakdown of that fight with Danny Betts and Preston Ekdahl. You can find that up. It'll be prominently displayed on our homepage over the next 48 hours. Guillermo Zertucci giving us a look at Santa Anita Race 5. Johnny Paycheck at 7-2 says be first in line. Johnny Paycheck, Race 5 at Santa Anita. The number 3, Johnny Paycheck, given to us from our guy Guillermo Zertucci, who lives just beside. Right, he's the neighbor of the great race place. Brizzy, great work, my friend. I will see you again next week. Thank you for fighting the good fight and coming last second. That means a lot to me and to everybody in the chat. So
make sure you pay off your drug dealers for 420 yesterday. We told you that you needed the front. We were going to make the money for you. Now you got to pay them back. It's Happy Friday, Good Friday. Let's get ready for the weekend and visit your national library because it's National Visit the Library Day. Visit the library for good luck. Read more books.
Look at that. Man, just the world is a better place with Billy Brisbane in it. Let's review all action and put a bow on the show. Let's also welcome Jose Bouquet to the show. Thank you, Topset, my man. Jose Bouquet, you made it down to the studio. Tell us a little bit about the floods. How bad is it?
Big pain in the dick. Gigantic pain in the dick. And particularly because, hold on, cutting that off. And particularly because I'm apparently the only neighborhood that doesn't have power, Jimmy, which is great. I asked like 6 people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we all have power." And then I go outside, and we have a fucking power line down, so it's great. But it's not too bad. My parents are just overreacting pussies, so it's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Nice to know. Who do you have on for Say Hey Plays of the day today?
Connor Mack is joining me today. It'll be a whole lot of fun. I have to cap the card here now. So it'll be a lot of fun figuring out what I'm on.
Let's review all action here. In NHL, I'm on the Carolina New York Islanders under 5 at +117. I'm on the Bruins -1 at +106. I should have waited. I don't mind that Swayman's in goal, honestly. Ullmark, I mean, these guys who haven't done it in the playoffs, they have to prove that they can do it. And, so I don't mind that. The problem is that I could have got a big plus line, and instead I got this. I mean, it is a plus line anyways, but Ugh, annoying. I'm on Dallas, Minnesota under 5.5 at -120. That's now -125. So we finally got to move there. That makes me feel better. And I'm on Edmonton, LA Kings under 6.5 at -115. It's -120 at Bet365, but I bet it at Bet Online. I didn't send it into my local. 5 cents is, important. So that is NHL. In baseball, I'm on the first 5 over 5 in Dodgers Cubs. I got that at -110. Let's see if that has moved at all. Tell me it's moved. That's moved 5 cents, -115. I'll take that. Daby Cabs on the Dodgers first 5 -0.5 -115. I doubled up on the Pirate Reds unders. The market was moving quickly in my direction, but it stopped and flipped. Ugh. I don't like it. It's now 5 cents in the other direction. And the first 5. Wow. Interesting. The first 5 has moved. The first 5 under 4.5 has moved to -120. So I got that at -105. But then the full game is moving to the over. So an expectation that these bullpens get touched late doesn't make me feel good on the double up. White Sox, Rays, we stayed off. Rockies, Phillies, we stayed off. I'm moving on to Tigers. Oh, that is my addition. I forgot. That means I have 2 additions to make. I've got to decide whether I want the Tigers first 3 or first 5, and I got to see what the market's doing now. But I do think the market's screaming that they're live. Cabs on the Yankees, team total over 4.5. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today's Yankees -1 at +109. Matty Ice Taint play today's Cleveland first 5 -0.5. We don't think that game's going to go off. Astros, Braves, no action. The gift from TJ, Oakland, Texas over 8. I love it. I love when I can correlate my action with these plays of the day. Because if I don't correlate, I don't tail blindly. So I stay off them. Yesterday, it correlated with the Padres. I got to get bank on that. And today I see it. So I moved on the over 8. I got 5 cents worse. I got -120. Let's see where that has moved, shall we? Just very quickly here.
I'll be joining you guys on that then. How lovely.
I love it. It's still -120 at 8. So we don't know. Some books have given it 8.5. Mike M says Detroit 0-6 straight up, 1-5 run line as a road dog with Lorenzen. But he's only had 1 start with the Tigers. So right? That was his first start. Yeah, of course it was, because he was on the Angels last year.
Yep.
So 1-5 run line as a road dog. And they also have Lorenzen pitching is what I guess is a road dog spot. Okay. I feel you. AOD says Orioles Smack City. I don't like seeing that, but I love capping with you, AOD. Okay, so let's move on then. Cab is on the Brewers first 5 -0.5, and BJ's running real nice here on the show, and I love that he's putting out his max bets. Remember, when BJ started, it was just $500 bets. Now we see 1K bets and 2K bets because he's cashing, and I love seeing that shit, man.
What's our guy BJ on?
He's on the Brewers. -168. And again, I don't think there's any problem with the juice when your unit size is $1,000.
Yeah, no, it makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, Freddie Peralta, I think he's coming off a shitty start. Nick Pivetta, not as good. It makes a lot of sense.
The market does not think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sharps are not agreeing. That line has not moved, and the public's on the Brewers. So we can touch on that again because it's piqued your interest.
Well, it's always just because it's the Red Sox. I cashed with them yesterday for the first time, and it felt like fucking ages. So maybe it might go back to the well. Who knows? But yeah, that's interesting because
I'll tell you this right now. Opened up at -160. Sorry to interrupt you. What were you saying? Sorry.
No, I would say Nick Pivetta sucks, but go ahead. Apologies.
But he sucks sort of situationally, doesn't he?
Against the AL East, yeah.
And at home, he seems to suck. But it opened up at -160. It's now at -162. -160 and -162. So it's been a 2-cent move towards, because you know me and my love for Freddie Peralta. I would have been on this.
Yeah.
But it's wow. Now you see why. This has been changing quickly as the day's gone. 41% of the tickets, 54% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox. So that's changed again. Nationals, Twinkies, we are off. Royals, Angels, off. Padres, Diamondbacks, off. I'm adding the Cardinals. And Mets, Giants, off. There you go. There you have it. Piker is asking if we want to hear about his unit size. We're good. We're good.
I guess you kind of want to hear about it.
I know. I'm good. Thank you guys so much for your support this week. Cherish the opportunity to cap with you guys. I've not been good this week, and it's extremely aggravating. I'd like to close strong here, and then I need redemption on Sunday night. I need it so badly.
What games are you talking about?
Sunday night, the main game is Game 4 of Celtics Hawks, and the baseball game is Mets Giants in San Francisco. So that will be a fun. So then we have our starting time for Sunday night. Now it's going to be 6:30 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. So we'll start with the baseball game, and then we'll have whatever playoff action we have going on as well. But for me, I really want to know what we'll have, and I know the focus is going to be on the basketball game, and then basketball is probably the best sport to live bet. But let's just quickly see what we have for NHL on Sunday. I thought I already did this, but let me just quickly see for NHL Sunday. Ooh, Oilers Kings, baby. And Stars Wild starts right when we start our show. Oh, it's going to be a fun Sunday night. I'm going to be heavily involved. Okay, thank you guys so much for all of your support. JT, North Ender, Rem Most, Raw Dog, Piker, Gerald Jones, Brian Watson, Nasty, Nate, TNT, Mike M.A., Yo, D, Joe Yurkovich just locked in the same game parlay. Rangers money line full game over 4.5 at -135. Joe Ortner, Real Deal Prime, Big Show Picks. Remember to check out the new podcast on Pub Sports Radio, Big Show Picks, Millsy and Billy Brisbane. And tonight, this week's star, Jeff Slaughter. Yeah, my man.
Congrats on the sex, Big Show, and the child.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful news?
Yeah.
That's wonderful news. Somehow you make it creepy, but wonderful, wonderful news from our guy, Big Show Picks, who's going to be a dad. Roger that. Daniel Son, top set. Thank you guys so much for your support. Andrew G, Tori Coker, Harold Williams, Max Swelly, Filthy Sticks. Go out there and get that cash, man.
That's a great name. Sticks. By the way, unfortunately, lads, last night the hose don't get wet, so no females.
Wow.
The hose don't get wet. What can we say?
I don't know about that, but we'll take your word for it. How about that? We'll take your word for it. Jose Bouquet, have a great day and have a great weekend. We believe in you. Winning day yesterday in MLB, right?
Nope. 2-3 yesterday. Better than what we have been doing. So it's not too frustrating. I got lost the half run. The Angels team total over at 3.5. They score 3. So it's okay. It's fine. Whatever. We move on, but we're going to keep pressing on, and we're going to keep the winning ways coming eventually. So I'm not worried.
We believe you. Start today. Leroy Flood, thank you. Tell me you didn't just say that, Rem Most. Okay, let's but now I need to let you this motherfucker. I need a day today badly. I need a day on Sunday. I need a day today and Sunday very, very, very badly. Our bankrolls are not immune, and we also have huge Kentucky Derby. I need to be really flush for that. So I need a day today. Let's go out there and get that cash. Jose, thank you for rushing to the studio once you got your wheels. And Jarek White, Joe Ortner, all you guys, let's get fucking paid today. Let's get paid today. Let's milk this shit. All right? Leche. Hey, los bookmakers.